Madam, start.
பியர் மேடம் சொல்லிட்டு அந்த லிங்க் எனக்கும் மெயில் அனுப்பு. அதமா வர
Sonia ma'am.
Yeah. Shall we, Vidya ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, we start.
Okay. And namaste, my pranams to all the dignitaries. Pranams to everyone who's logged in. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the Foxy ICOG Masterclass on Nutrition and Women's Health. As we all know that September is observed globally as Nutrition Month, a time dedicated to creating awareness about the importance of balanced diet, lifestyle, and overall nutrition in promoting health and preventing the disease. Nutrition is not just a matter of food, it's a cornerstone of well-being, particularly for women who go through unique physiological phases such as adolescence, pregnancy, lactation, and menopause. Each of these stages demand a special nutritional attention to ensure optimal health of women, their families, and society at large. With this kept in mind, Foxy ICOG has envisioned today's masterclass as a focused academic platform to highlight the evidence-based practices, to explore challenges, and exchange knowledge on how nutrition can positively impact women's health outcomes. In this context, today, it's my honor to invite Dr. Vidya Thobi,
join karta hai?
ICOG and Vice President-elect Foxy, to kindly take over. Madam will be delivering her words of welcome to this August gathering and will also lead us into the ICOG campus book launch. We look forward for your valuable presence and take over this session, ma'am. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Sonia. And I must say that today is a very special day in my life because nutrition is very dear to me. And today we are there for this nutrition masterclass with the ICOG. So today also is a famous day, that is Swami Vivekananda delivered his speech in Chicago. And I must start with his quote: fill the brain with high thoughts, high ideas, place them day and night before you, and out of that will come a great work. Stop not till goal is reached. So my goal is to get awareness of nutrition to everywhere. That is my goal. So today, again, it gives an immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all of you for this masterclass on nutrition. Nutrition is everywhere. As Dr. Sonia has told, it is across the woman's life. And I take this opportunity to warmly welcome to our esteemed dignitaries, Dr. Sunita Tandulwadkar, President Foxy, Dr. Parag Biniwale, who is a backbone of this webinar, Chairperson ICOG, Dr. Sheila Mane, Chairperson-elect ICOG, Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar, Secretary General Foxy, Dr. Sarita Bhalerao, as I told, and my co-conveners, Dr. J.B. Sharma and Dr. Asha Jain, for putting this program across. And also, I welcome the esteemed speakers, Dr. Sanjay Gupte, Dr. Suchitra Pandit, Dr. Hema Dibakar, Dr. Sarita Bhalerao, Dr. Deepika Rastogi, Shilpa Joshi, Ragini Agarwal, Dr. J.B. Sharma, and Chairperson Asha Rao, Achala Batra, Dr. Ramani, Dr. Bharti Rajshekhar, Dr. Shailaja Bidri, Dr. R.S. Sharma, Dr. Rajendra Singh Pardesi, and everyone, I welcome to this webinar. This is a nutritious academic feast with good take-home messages, and I'm really privileged to have all of you with us today. We commit to promote women's health through better nutrition. Last but not the least, our young coordinators, Dr. Sonia Mandappa and Dr. Ashwin Rao. I welcome them wholeheartedly for conduct of smooth program. So thank you very much, Dr. Parag, ICOG team, for giving us opportunity to conduct this ICOG masterclass on nutrition. Thank you. Over to Sonia.
Madam, we proceed with the ICOG campus book launch. We request you to actually lead to the proceedings.
Yes, Dr. Sheila is there. I think other speakers, faculty is there. I request Nilima to send the link to Dr. Gupte hospital@gmail.com. Just now I received a call from Dr. Sanjay Gupte. So Nilima, please send sirs the different link.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I request the dignitaries, Dr. Parag Biniwale, Dr. Sheila Mane, and other dignitaries, all faculties to join for this book launch. I'm very much all these. It is my privilege to welcome all to this special occasion for the release of this important timely ICOG campus on micronutrients. And we are really honored to have all the faculties and office bearers. This book really reflects years of clinical insights, academic excellence, and will serve as an valuable guide for all of us in improving women's health through evidence-based guidelines. It is indeed a proud moment for me and everyone at IIT, and I thank all the contributors and the Foxy office bearers and ICOG office bearers for giving us opportunity. And I thank the academic partners, the Plus Life Sciences, and especially Surabhi Gupta. She has taken a lot of efforts for printing and doing this webinar. Thank you very much. Welcome, Dr. J.B. Sharma. He also joins for this launch of this book. So can we have a digital online launch? Hello, sir.
Hi. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Vidya, and everyone for the hard work. Yeah. Real pleasure for all of us.
Good afternoon, Dr. J.B. Sharma. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Sheila Mane, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Good.
Sir, पाठवलं मी माझ्या मेलमध्ये. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Dr. Vidya,
Thank you.
Dr. Parag. Yeah, hearty congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
Dr. J.B. Sharma. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would just like to say one word. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
please.
it's very apt because you have said that beyond IFA, multi micronutrients. Because the recent NFHS survey of adolescents in Karnataka, or even if you take all over India, has shown that anemia is on the rise, even in adolescent children. And they have screened almost 1 lakh children in Karnataka. And the reason for that is not the iron deficiency, but it is all the deficiency of the micronutrients. So it is very important that the diet and the nutrition awareness has to go. And so many reasons where discussion happened. In fact, so many nutritionists had joined. Yes, of course, the diet is very important. Another thing is the milk consumption is not happening, maybe gender bias for girls. And another thing is that the lot of junk food is causing change in the microbiota of the intestine, and which is preventing the absorption of these micronutrients, which is leading to anemia. So I think all of us have to really look into all these aspects.
At the
Thank you.
same time, thank you, Madam Dr. Sheila Mani. It is indeed a privilege to witness a virtual ICOG campus book launch among such dignitaries and the Foxians and the attendees. And my congratulations to the entire team. It's
Welcome,
now
Dr.
time
Hima
for-
Divakar. I just wanted
Ah.
comments from her as well.
Hi, hello, namaskara. And I know this is a pan-India program, but we are making Karnataka lead the nutrition forefront. Good afternoon, Dr. Sharma as well. Thanks for joining
Just
hands.
a minute, yeah.
Very beloved,
Yes.
evergreen Dr. Vidya Topi, whose attitude of continuum of care. She held the post of the chairperson of the Food and Drugs Committee. From then onwards, the nutrition is the buzzword where we see Dr. Vidya Topi, and it's continuing even until today. And Dr. Sheila Mane, who will now be stepping into the post of the chair of ICOG, has a lot of ideas cut out in front of her. And we are sure that all of us joining hands as champions will do our best. And the consistent and persistent effort by Dr. Parag Biniwale, the current chairman, and the Secretary General, Dr. Sarita Bhalera, have really put ICOG certification courses to the center stage. And today we have a very special launch of the nutrition book as well, because anything that you talk, you do, if it's documented as a focus, it remains on our desks and in our minds forever. If not anything, as a reminder of this fine afternoon where the best of the people deliberated on think nutrition first, bringing it to the center stage and letting the much spoken about lifestyle, which is all about nutrition and exercise, come to the practical reality of the sorts. So congratulations once again for the entire team who has put this program together and launched the campus. And we are sure that everybody in every campus, may it be school, college, or the IT campus, will follow the rules given in this publication to have a better life for themselves. Thank you very, very much for making me a part of this lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. We also recognize the presence of Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Dr. Sadhna Gupta. Welcome you, ma'am. In fact, we were waiting for all the dignitaries. Now it's time for us to actually start the scientific session by invoking the blessings of Almighty. Madam Nilima.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
After invoking the blessings, I now request the coordinator of today's program, Dr. Ashwin Rao, to ignite the first scientific session and introduce
Sonia,
what is the
Sonia,
theme of the first session.
Sonia, I would like to address the gathering first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So
Yes,
good
sir.
evening. I bring greetings from ICOG, and it's indeed a pleasure to address everyone on the release of nutrition ICOG campus on nutrition. I must appreciate the efforts put in by Dr. Vidya Tobi and Dr. JB Sharma, who brought out a really good book which every OBGYN specialist should have, because it will be a great help in the day-to-day clinical practice. And thank you, Dr. Hema Devakar, for writing the foreword for this. When you write it as a FIGO director, it is always a great endorsement for that particular book. Special appreciation to our coordinators, Sonia and Ashwin, and of course, Dr. Asha Jain, who has silently helped as the current chairperson of Food, Drugs and Medico-Surgical Equipments Committee. Vidya, I also must appreciate the program that you put across, because the first session has three of my very, very close people who have influenced me all these years. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Hema Devakar, and Dr. Suchitra Pandit. Actually, all three of them have literally handheld me and brought me where I am today. Especially Dr. Gupta, when he was secretary of ICOG, that was the first time I came to know what ICOG is, and that was a great learning. In fact, that is how my affection towards ICOG started. So thank you, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Hema, Dr. Suchitra, for joining today and agreeing to be speakers in this very, very important program on nutrition. For us in ICOG, whenever we talk about nutrition, it's always Vidya Topi. Vidya is so passionate about nutrition, and all these years after, as Hema rightly said, when she became chairman of the Food, Drugs, Medical, Surgical Equipments Committee, I think nutrition is her first love. And Vidya, thank you for that affection as far as nutrition is concerned. And this book has really come up very, very well. Congratulations to you and Dr. JB Sharma. And of course, thank you to TrimaCare, because Dr. Deepika and the entire team who have supported this ICOG campus. Thank you. Ashwin, over to you for the scientific program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
very much. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Para.
So let's go ahead and start our session 1. Adolescence as such is an important thing. So this session is about empower her plate and empower her life. Adolescence is a crucial window where health choices shape a woman's lifelong well-being. We focus on adolescent gynecology to nurture healthier, stronger, and more confident women of tomorrow. So the session is based purely on this. The chairpersons for a session are Dr. Asha Rao and Dr. Achla Batra. I invite Dr. Sonia to introduce our chairpersons. Thank you.
Dr. Sheila Mane also joins as an expert, as a chair to this session. Ashwin.
Thank you. I am there.
Yes,
Yeah.
Madam Dr. Asha Rao, congratulations once again for being elected for the second term. And Madam needs no introduction. We know she is a distinguished academician and a clinician, and earned great appreciation as the chair of Endometriosis Committee in 2023. Her leadership and contribution have truly set high standards, and we are delighted, Madam, to have you here for this session today. We have Madam Professor Charmila, but I think for due family reasons, she is unable to join us today, but she sent her wishes and greetings also for this program. We have Madam Professor Achla Batra, who is the National President of NACHI 2022-24. Madam, we have been seeing you on screen, off screen, and we know that you're an author of World Book Obstetrics, which is in every postgraduate's hand. Madam is a professor of OBGYN, Saptanjang Hospital. And today we look forward to have some inputs on this in this session, Madam. Madam Dr. Sheila Mane also needs no introduction. Now, Madam Sheila Mane holds the post of Chairperson-elect ICOG. Madam, congratulations to you, and also look forward to hear you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Okay. So I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Sir Sanjay Gupta, sir. He's been the FIGO Ethics Committee Chair. Then he has been awarded FRCOG by the Royal College London in 2010. President of
Can we
Foxy in
start with the
2010.
session?
Sir, certain things are important, sir. It's very important because you know it is like many people will get motivated, sir.
Yes.
I know that all of us we feel like that, you know, but at least certain important things I think I must, and I would like to once again stress upon the he's the one who started, sir started the Justice organization, and he is the Secretary General for that World Justice Organization and the founder for the Justice Organization in India. And I think the so many things which we have achieved in HTP is because of you, sir. And also the Technical Research Committee Chair for the Indian, that is ICMR, and Eclampsia Registry, which was started by you. Again, many other posts to your credit, sir. And I remember you as a very good academician and as well as a very good friend of all of us. And one more, I would like to know that he is also a director of Green Array Genomic Research and Solutions. So I must appreciate your enthusiasm that you are into research and trying to do so many newer things, which motivates us to do. So it's very nice to have you in this session of nutrition, and we look forward to hear from you on this very important aspect of nutrition and adolescence today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheila. And it's a wonderful effort that ICOG, both Parag and Sheila and the whole JB, and of course, Vidya is at the helm of today's session. So it's a great occasion, and all my close friends, of course, Dr. Hema, and she just before this introduced kind of the session, the need for this session so wonderfully well. So I think from there we should directly go ahead with the session, and let me share, and I hope you can all see the screen. Right.
Yes,
Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Screen?
yes,
sir.
yes,
Yes, sir.
we can.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are able to
Okay.
see.
So how does nutrigenomics come into play in all that? And that's what we are going to discuss today. And I must mention about the conflict of interest, as Dr. Sheila just mentioned. I happen to be the director of this Green Array Lab, where all these tests are carried out. So yes, definitely that's a conflict of interest. But apart from that, let's discuss the science of nutrigenomics. We always wonder why some people lose weight effortlessly while others struggle, no matter how hard they try. So weight loss is not just about calories in and calories out. That's what many of our apps keep on telling us, and that's why people go through all kinds of diets, from keto, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, and all kinds of exercises, gym exercises, yoga, and so on and so forth, and still usually fail to lose weight and feel fairly depressed. But why does it happen? Because certain genes control how efficiently we burn fat and how hungry we feel. So for example, people with a variant in FTO gene might feel hungrier, and we'll talk about some of these genes as we go along later. So one always thinks about, why is my diet not working? There are genetic secrets behind my macronutrient processing, and some people would thrive on carbs because their bodies process them efficiently, while others store carbs as fat due to genetic variations. Fats aren't enemy for everyone, because some people would be actually processing them better, and even sometimes the proteins will create trouble for others. So nutrigenomics is the science that explores the interaction between an individual's genetic makeup and their diet. It focuses on understanding how specific genes influence the body's response to its nutrients, and how dietary components can affect our overall health and lead to various diseases. So there is something called as diet nutrition, some of which we discuss. What does it do? It also allows us for personalized dietary recommendations that promote the best possible health and well-being. And that's why, all these diets that we talked about, and Divekar diet is there, the Dikshit diet, intermittent fasting, it doesn't affect everyone in the same way because their own nutrigenomics is different, and that's why the action on their bodies is going to be different. So also sports nutrigenomics is gaining more and more important now because it leverages genetic insights to optimize athletes' diets. And we'll talk again a little more about it later on. It can enhance performance and also recovery from all the injuries, and can help bettering the performance of the particular athlete. Then there is cardiac nutrigenomics. Cardiac genomics investigates how genomic variations influence heart health, guiding the development of personalized dietary recommendations that mitigate cardiovascular risk and promote heart wellness through precision nutrition and strategies. So actually it can help us in knowing how much risk we have, how to avoid this risk, and there are panels which can guide us after testing what exactly needs to be done as far as our genetics is concerned. Then there are PCOS genetics, nutrigenomics now. Then there is diabetic nutrigenomics, and they put together not only the diet but diet based on that person's genetics. So how the diet changes the genomic effect is obviously through epigenetic or the epigenetic mechanisms, and that means genes may be the same, but they can be, the gene expression can change, and we know that they can have effect on our embryonic development, aging, immune function, cancer, obesity, inflammation. So everywhere this genetics and genetic modification does play a role, and that's where nutrigenomics helps us. Not only that, we feel that we are choosing some diet out there, and that's my preference, but maybe it's not your preference, because your genes can actually influence the foods that we select. And there are studies which have looked at how genes affect various ingestion behaviors. For example, why some people tend to consume more sugars than others. And this was one of the research that there is a gene called as glucose transporter type 2 gene, and this is associated with an impaired glucose sensing ability. So these people will tend to consume more sugars on daily basis because they sense it differently. They don't feel it as sweet as others, or they don't get tired of that particular taste. Then there is another genetic variation, and that is called a TAS1R2 variation, and this is associated with more consumption of sugar. So this can also be called as, what we always keep on saying, that one is a sweet tooth. What do we mean by sweet tooth? That there is one gene which codes for sweet taste receptors. So what happens actually, some people tend to overconsume sugar based on their impaired glucose sensing in the brain, the first one that I told you, and the others tend to overconsume sugar based on just their enhanced sweet taste perception on the surface of their tongue. So in personalizing this advice, it's important for us to understand why this is happening, why that person likes or dislikes particular type of food, and rather than just telling them. Now, what will happen here? Well, it can be interpreted, this genetic information, in two ways. Somebody might say, I have the gene, so what can I do? I'm going to, I can't help it. I'm going to go on eating and become a coach potato. While somebody more sensible would say, well, I have the gene, so I have to eat healthy, and I have to overcome this, the issues that I have with genetics, even my likings towards certain foods. And so also weight management involves a lot of other things, that is not only, appetite, weight regain, and then weight loss can be through fat metabolism, it can be through protein metabolism, physical activity, snacking, even circadian rhythm that again we'll refer to, and various deficiencies which lead to, our ill health and obesity. So we know that leptin and ghrelin are two hormones which are important in regulation of food intake, and they signal the brain, and that's how we, especially the hypothalamus, and that's why when we decide whether to eat or not. And leptin, we know, is a satiety gene. That means, when there is adequate energy or adequate adipose tissue, then it signals to the brain that now it's enough, and one feels satiated and stops eating. But if this leptin gene is the product of human gene called as an OB gene, and this OB gene is located on chromosome 7, particularly 7q31.3 is the locus. And if it is methylated, any gene which is methylated, that is epigenetic action, will stop acting. That means there will be no satiety, and that person will go on eating. And they've done experiments on mice where they, when this is modified, they keep on eating so much that they just, blow up and die just by eating. Similarly, ghrelin is a hormone is secreted by stomach. It suggests the, appetite. It's located on chromosome 3. The secretion of ghrelin by stomach depends largely on our nutritional status, and ghrelin levels show preprandial rise. So when we are hungry, the ghrelin increases, and then we feel like eating. Not only that, your snacking habit can also be written in DNA. And if we test it, we'll find out who are more likely to, snack, intermittently or continuously. And, because the genes tell them so. So, have you ever felt full, but still, you see something which you really like and feel like going for it, even out when you're full? Well, that's your FTO gene, playing tricks. It's associated with hunger and craving for high calorie snack. People with certain variants of this gene are more likely to overeat and snack frequently. Then there is something called as snack attack, and it could be actually your MC4R gene staying silent. This gene, commonly known as obesity gene, plays a role in controlling hunger signals, and some people don't get the signal and keep on eating because there are modifications that this particular gene. So snacking that you feel that you're controlling it, many times not controlled by yourself. And then there are various health crises because of deficiencies, and that can also lead to not only to ill health but obesity and so many other problems. And especially in Indian population, we know that vitamin B12 and vitamin D deficiency is present in a huge amount. And why this is so? Because our genetics is different. And if we go into that, we'll realize that certain genes, for example, when it comes to vitamin B12, there is gene called as FU2 gene. And if this gene, it's associated with decreased expression of especially H antigen. And if H antigen, we know that it's, in the small intestine, and if that is not working properly, then the vitamin B12 absorption is not there. So these are the particular patients that many times we find that we give this, vitamin B12 in large amount to the patient orally, but they don't, improve. Their deficiency remains, and these are the people will have to be given parenteral vitamin D and that vitamin B12. That's something that we will understand if we do their gene studies. In vitamin D also there is a gene, one VDR and CYP2R1 gene, and this enzyme plays crucial role in metabolism of vitamin D in liver and can affect the absorption of vitamin D. And again, because as Indians, we have variations which are common in this, and that's why we have almost 85% of pregnant women, if you observe, suffer from this vitamin D deficiency. Then, of course, we know our well-known MTHFR gene mutations, C6770T and A1298C. These are again, quite common. 13 to 50% of the population. And if we see in, we are doing these tests in repeated pregnancy loss patients, and we have found that there are more than 40 to around 40 to 50% of these repeated pregnancy loss patients that have this MTHFR gene mutations, and that's why they don't absorb folic acid, and that's why there are problems with the fetuses, and they keep on aborting. And so these testings are also important. Then, of course, various intolerances in the food. Lactose intolerance is gone by this M6 gene. It's involved in production of lactase enzyme, which is responsible for breaking down lactose. And that's why many people, we find that if they take milk or milk product, they suffer, with stomach upset and IBS and so on and so forth. Again, gluten intolerance is also not very uncommon in our population, and the variations in HLA-DQ genes will tell us about not only the sensitivity to gluten, but even celiac disease. In celiac disease, these genes play a very important role because they affect the immune response to gluten, and the inflammation can be huge, and especially autoimmune issues are there with these kind of gene variants. Well, take simply the caffeine, and that's why everybody who takes coffee, some people enjoy that, they like to have it, they feel better about it because they have what is called as CYP1A2. This is an important gene, CYP1A2. A1 mutation is there, then they will be rapid caffeine metabolizers, and they will be benefited by taking caffeine. But somebody like me, if I take coffee, I get severe headache because I have, we have done this study that I have CYP1A2, 1F mutation, and that creates trouble. So there are these various panels which can actually tell us that, we can do this testing and find out what's happening, right? So now, just last couple of minutes, we'll talk about the fitness genomics or sports genomics also. And we know that some teams across the world, USA has won 40 gold, China is now winning gold. Some countries like Australia do in Olympics. And why is that? Because they are testing their athletes, for various genes. And fortunately, now the Indian cricket team has also been not only tested, but they are acting on it, and that's why we see such a better performance, of these genes. But not only the testing for the performance, but if we go on to an exercise, when do we do the exercise, and when it will be beneficial to us will depend on our clock genes. So whether we should be doing it in the morning or evening, our circadian rhythm matters. And as I said, in performance, this ACTN gene is very important because that affects either the sprinter muscles or the endurance muscles. And if you have this particular gene mutation, sometimes it's beneficial. For example, Usain Bolt, who set an incredible record of running 100 meters in 9.58 seconds, and he's still the world record holder. He has an ACTN 3R allele in his genes, and that gives him advantage, and that's how he is winning these tests. So now the new thing that is coming in athletics is gene doping, and that's going to be very important, because if we can change the gene expression in the athletes will be doing much better. And so again, there is this ACE gene which gives us some idea about power and endurance. So if you're going to go for something like marathon, this gene is very important. The ACE gene plays crucial role in regulating the blood flow and oxygen delivery to the muscles. It affects VO2 max. We know that VO2 max is important because that is the maximum amount of oxygen. And if you keep in that VO2 max zone, when you're doing exercise, that you're benefited the best. And for that, if you know that what variant you have, then you can decide your exercise pattern according to all this. So there are again fitness genomic panels. All these tests can be done. All that can be. There are now experts in this field, especially even in our country, who are doing not only studies but doing counseling to all the athletes and all the performers, not only athletes, also sports person, by checking these genes and then going ahead and advising them, personalized advice, how they can improve, their performance. And fortunately, so that's why we have also started now, showing performances in these various international arena sports, and that's very welcome. So finally, the line that we are what we eat takes on a whole new dimension when viewed under the purview of nutrigenomics and the modifications that nutrition can cause, not just in our DNA, but that of our progeny as well. Understanding the effect of genes on nutritional effects of nutrition on our genes can help us develop symbiotic relationship with food, helping us to achieve maximum fitness for generations to come. So if you want to know how to lose weight, how to remain fit, how to correct your PCOS or improve your diabetes or perform better, don't forget to look at your gene first, and that will give an entirely a new vision as to how we want to do it. And that's exactly what we should learn about nutrition based on nutrigenomics, and guide our patients individually and to get all these benefits. Thank you very much for your kind listening.
One nimsha, right? Thank you, sir. I think it was really very nice to hear all these new things. And that is why now we understand why some people lose weight and why some not. So I think with increasing incidence in the obesity, I think these things should be easily available to all the people, so that it will become easy for the consultants to manage. And as we being gynecologists, I think we see all the age groups. And
Yes.
because of that, I think particularly in women, all the age groups now we are seeing this problem. And if we diagnose it early, I think it will be of a more benefit to the whole population, I think.
Yes.
And yeah, so I think we would like to
You
definitely know.
you
Yeah.
heard about the two world leaders talking about immortality and all very recently, Putin and Z, and this was all based on all these genomics, and that's what finally we are getting into, that modify the expression of the gene, and even aging can be maybe may not be completely stopped, but definitely can be prolonged, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think. And first thing is like preventing obesity itself will help our country, at least our population, to reduce the incidence of NCDs, which is a burning problem for us today. I
Yes.
think, as you mentioned about insulin resistance, cardiac,
Right.
and everything, I think, yeah. It was a real feast today, I think, listening to you, sir.
Thank you
we
so
would
much.
like to involve more and more in ICOG with you so that we try to see that the
Of
message
course.
goes to more people.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, certainly. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Good evening, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We move on to the next talk. I request Asha Rao madam to introduce Hema Divakar ma'am for the next session on call to OB-GYNs, Think Nutrition First.
Thank you, Dr. Ashwin. Thank you, Dr. Vidyathobi, for having invited me here today. It is such a dynamic, it's such a vibrant e-conference, and it was lovely listening to Dr. Sanjay Gupte about the genomics. And now we have the dynamic lady, Dr. Hema Divakar, past president of our Foxy. We have known Hema for very many years, and she has emerged into such an angel. And she's the director of Divakar Specialty Hospital, senior consultant in obstetrics and gynecology, division director, FIGO Well Women Healthcare at FIGO, president Karnataka Association of Healthcare Providers India, state representative of HSSC Karnataka, UNICEF ambassador for Impact for Nutrition. She is also the chair for Nutrition and Breastfeeding Committee, Suffolk, past president Foxy 2013, and opinion leader and influencer for social and legal issues relating to women's health. She is the CEO and chairman Asian Research Training Institute for Skill Transfer, popularly known as ARTIST. And she is the FICCI Award for Excellence in Capacity Building. There is so much that we can go on talking about Hema. And we are all waiting to listen to her on the topic of call to obstetrics and gynecs on Think Nutrition. So the floor is yours, Hema. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Asha. And thanks, Vidya and team, for your kind invitation today. After hearing Dr. Gupte speaking so much about genomics, which is like, right all over our head. 11 years ago, when I had heard the term omics before, genomics, metabolomics, this, that, it was so kind of, we couldn't relate to anything that was said in that conference. It was like mind boggling. And we said, where are we? And, what is this whole track about? And now slowly and steadily, leaders like Dr. Gupte have brought this aspect also into the center stage, over and over again, telling us about the importance of gut feeling, the gut microbiomes, the gut, everything emerges out of there, so to say. So we have deepened in our understanding for sure, but with simple and humble beginnings that we have to make as OBGYNs, we have to urge ourselves to think nutrition first. I'm saying it again because many times we as OBGYNs said, okay, we don't have a dietitian. Okay, diet advice is not our crucial role. Somebody will do it, or patient will figure out for themselves, or whatever. But this entire sphere of nutrition and wellness and what we can do about it from the OBGYN perspective, whereby I mean a busy practicing OBGYNs. What can we do? That is the focus of this presentation. And then as you see here, the Wheel of Wellness that was released at our FIGO conference at Paris, which is all set to roll as a pilot project in Karnataka, you will see that, the Western world insisted that the first priority should be given to climate change. So, okay, we placed it first. But what is next on the list there? Number 2 is the nutrition, the macro and micro nutrition. That indeed starts from the second position in the wheel, but it has continued throughout the life course at every stage in her life. Whichever age she enters the wheel, no matter for whatever reason, the mental well-being and nutrition cut right across the wheel, and it's our duty to do our best both for preventive care and wellness. So the swing of obesity has started. And what is FIGO doing for obesity and nutrition? So we know that it's a three-pronged problem. There's undernutrition, there's overnutrition, and there's also micronutrient deficiency. And what is the impact of all of these? 3.5 million deaths in women and children because of undernutrition. NCDs, which Sheila mentioned, overnutrition producing a tsunami of diabetes and hypertension. Every family has somebody with either of these or both. Micronutrient deficiencies, 2 billion people with inadequate vitamins and minerals. So this is the impact it's causing. And you will see that the graph from malnourishment is slowly shifting towards obesity. Eat right, and then the fact that what comes into your plate and the mindful eating becomes a very, very crucial problem, because what we see today can snowball into something even worse in the future. So as OBGYNs, we know that our patient in the pregnancy period has put on 20 kilos, but will she have the conviction to lose it as efficiently as possible in the postpartum period? That is the phase where they maximally put on the body weight. But there is also a whole class of adolescents and the young girls, because of the sedentary lifestyle, because of stress, because of PCOS, because of n number of reasons, obesity is already set in at an early age. And the far-reaching implications of this: obesity today could be type 2 diabetes tomorrow, could be high blood pressure, high cholesterol, gallbladder disease, heart disease, osteoarthritis, uh, anything that you mention, inclusive of the predilection for cancer, the high risks of obesity. So it's not really, we are not talking about cosmetic problem, but we're also talking about the medical issues that it can bring in. Why I'm focusing more on obesity is because we as gynecologists have to be sensitive to the fact that not everybody can lose weight easily. Dr. Gupta just mentioned that it's not all about eating and exercising. There's a lot more in the genomics happening towards it. So we need to be sensitive not to uh, tell the patient in a condescending way, I have told you so many times, you are not keeping to the regime, and you have not lost a millimeter of your inches, or we have not lost 1 gram of weight also. And then, so she goes shopping from OBG to OBG because everybody is telling her the same thing, and finally lands up with a great degree of depression. That should never be allowed to happen. So in the keeping with Think Nutrition First, are we as clinicians taking a dietary recall? Are we spending at least 2 to 5 minutes seeing what is the kind of food group she's eating? And even your paramedics can do this with ease, but then it needs to be done. So that is our call to all the OBGYNs, that it's so simple, so feasible, so doable. Just do it. It's not only about thinking, but it's about getting into action. So what is the FICO nutrition checklist? That's what Vidya asked me to deliberate, because we have jointly produced some papers regarding this as well. So it just has 4 simple sections. First section is to identify the type of diet, because you can't ask a vegetarian wrong questions about do you eat fish and meat and all, because those become irrelevant. So first identify the class of the diet. The second is height, weight, body mass, because you know how much attention you have to pay towards that. Is obese, morbid obesity, etc. in that category if she comes. And the third is the quality of the diet. What is the food group that she's eating, and how many times in a week, and what proportion? So all of that come as yes, no answers. And the last column is only about the micronutrient supplementation. Is she taken folic acid, vitamin D, iron, etc.? Very, very simple to fill. So we decided to just do a simple research on this, to develop a simple training program for the paramedics, execute it, evaluate it, expand it, and see whether it makes any sense to the clinician. Because the paramedics take the simple history in 2 to 3 minutes and flag it off to the consultant so that she can take it to the next level. So this was our paper published in the South Asian Federation of OB-GYNs at the CEFOG journal, because it's very, very relevant to this part, opportunities and challenges in the low middle income countries. So the responses we got from healthcare professional: ease of using the checklist. 82% said it's very, very easy. When we asked them, were you taking the dietary history as a routine before using the checklist? They said, sometimes, but in any which way that we wanted. And there was no systematized way of actually noting and analyzing the gaps of what advice they could give the patient. Time taken to administer. I know we are busy practitioners. Okay, we don't have time for the crucial things, but it takes less than 2 to 5 minutes. That was the average response rate for the Figo nutrition checklist. Moreover, now we have empowered the paramedics in our wellness clinics, and all of them do a marvelous job in taking the dietary history and grouping the Figo nutrition checklist. 90% of our respondents agreed that the information gathered could really make them sensitize the patient for a targeted advice. 90%, 94% found great use of doing the simple step, big impact. That's always been my mantra. And that is where they recognize that half the number of patients are swinging into obesity, and they really need to pay a serious attention to this for the far reaching consequences that this can have. So counseling at the clinic, use the Figo nutrition checklist, BMI and waist circumference screening. The conversation starts how to raise this topic in a very sensitive manner. So counseling and role plays are an important part of our capacity building of the paramedical staff and even for our peer groups as well. The 5A approaches: ask, assess, advise, assist, and arrange for the local recipes, local food substances, something they cannot relate to, you tell them and it's not going to go anywhere. Again, being a very strong proponent of healthcare technology, the femtech, we say that extend your advice through the nutritional apps. That patient may already be using it by herself, but for those who are uninitiated, now it's available in all languages. It'll also figure out what is the local stuff available there, how do you cook some simple meals, which meal has what kind of calorie. Many of the weight loss clinics also use this. Now in the government card itself, there is an importance paid to the BMI, which until 5 years ago, nobody was even noting it. So the kind of the pictorial representation also makes a difference. This is our project in interiors of Kanpur. In fact, the village is called Shivpur and Chobepur, where you see that all these ashas and sanginis are sitting there. And they've all been handed out this Figo nutrition checklist because there is a project going on for adolescent and maternal micronutrient supplementation and anemia care for the girls and women of that region. So what do we tell them? They were very insistent that, language is the recipe for us, the main thing. Otherwise, they cannot relate to anything. So in the quality and frequency of diet that I mentioned in the Figo nutrition checklist, we have modified it to the Indian context. Carbohydrates, they should know what carbohydrates is. If it's rice, wheat, jowar, ragi, and millets, we will tell them in Hindi also: chawal, roti, poha, suji, ragi, bajra, etc. So they will know. And are they eating it daily? Are they eating 2 to 4 times a week? Are they not consuming it? That is one kind of data. Protein sources, the whole list is given, the pictures are given, and again, paneer, doodh, dahi, soya. You have to tell them in the local language which they can relate to. They'll nicely ask, and they're very meticulously filling up these lists and quickly realizing within the next 5 minutes that these are the gaps and this is what I have to counsel them about. And also about the protein-rich substances. They always drive it into the head of the family, who is a female, with all the recipes discussed with her, how she can give the good nutrition to the entire family. Again, about green leafy vegetables, which is one of the crucial things for iron: jaggery, groundnuts, tofu, soya proteins, all of these in a picturesque way. Some are eating only once a week. We'll ask them to step it up. And everything, again, hari patte, rajma, you tell in their language and it just gets into the head. They will teach us something more. Some of these modifications have come out from the information that we've obtained from the Sanginis and Ashas themselves. And of course, the columns on how often do you consume the fruits? Is it once a week or never at all? Because they should be able to afford it. And what are the simple fruits that they can take? How the vitamin C rich fruits helps in absorption of iron, and how the tea, coffee interferes with their meals. Because Anemia Mukta Bharat program, in a way, it's failing because of the lack of small, simple advices in the communication chat. And of course, what to avoid. Because if they note the BMI as aswasthya motapa, that is called, like enhanced obesity, morbid obesity. They will correctly figure out, nahi, nahi, aapko ye nahi khana hai. Packet snacks, cakes, pastries, please avoid that. And then sweetened juices, etc. So they are very vocal, and then they drive it into the head of the family very, very well. So local food names, showing the pictures, encourage the family to support the women's diet, explain why tea, coffee need not be taken, explain to her about the colorful thali. Very simple. It's not a rocket science. All of them are super confident now to do this. And then now their only grouse is that they have understood much more about the nutrition, much more about anemia. If they flag off 7, 8, 9 grams, they say, Madam, in our village, there is nobody to give injectable iron. So we have made arrangements for set of 15 women to go in one vehicle to Kanpur, get the injection, come back, etc. So it has to reach a meaningful end when we do all of these. And this is not the end, it's a foundation for a systemic change. A pre-test, post-test, it showed a swing of 70%, BMI and hemoglobin tool proficiency, 85% demonstrated the correct application, checklist completion. This is mind-blowing. More than 90% of the ASHA workers who just looked at the pictures and were ticking, we tallied it with what an expert would do. 90% it was aligning. And yes, the field challenges, few are documented, and in the next phase they will be sorted, like how I told you, the twin program about the women going to the center in Kanpur or the Kanpur experts coming to the village. We are sorting out some of those things, and then how they go into the fields, and how even on the VHND day they empower the whole team of women there to understand why they're telling them what they're actually meaning them to imply in their own lifestyle. So implementation and review of the cultural and behavior insights, very, very important. The myths and misconceptions are so huge. It's also our duty to dispel them. But nutrition, who will bell the cat? That is the problem. Okay, so it's a call to all OBGYNs to do the least they can, which will have a big impact. So the practical implementation, the high level of confidence and contextual understanding, the cultural resistance in any, like how it is cultural resistance about papaya and abortion is still existing. Till and menstrual cycle is still existing. So, the training modules on digital are very, very simple. So Wheel of Wellness is what we call. And many centers in Karnataka, the staffs have now been trained to collaborate with us for the execution of the Wheel of Wellness, because you would see the call to action given by our own OBGYNs in the recent meet that we had, which is also showcasing our dear Dr. Vidya Tobi, who is smiling and very confident that this will be executed, and the dream will become a reality of think nutrition first, but take it from the awareness to the action level. So this is the call, that clarion call that we would like to give to all our OBGYNs. Guys, simple, doable. And once again, I end with saying, just do it, and we will see a lot of change in the landscape of how much better our girls and women can be. Namaskar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Hema. I can see that you are really a visionary and always a leader. Who will build the cat and how to build the cat? It was a real wake-up call to OBGYNs to fight against this epidemic of obesity and improving their nutrition. It's really an eye-opener.
Thank you.
We're continuing to enjoy your Manyata training programs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Hema, this wheel, now we will see to it that Parag is also there now with Parag and me, that we really percolate it on every gynecologist of India's table, it should be there. So that, then only I think we'll be able to reach out to many women. And I think let us do that through ICOG. So I look forward for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am, for the wonderful talk, ma'am.
Thank you, Sheila.
We move on to the third session, the third talk by Dr. Suchitra Pandit. I request Achla Batra ma'am to introduce Suchitra ma'am.
Well, good evening, and it's my proud privilege to introduce somebody who doesn't need any introduction. Our past Foxy president, past ISOPOP president, past chair of AICC RCOG, representative to FIGO elect, and representative to CEFOG, and of course the pioneer of starting the Justices in India. So none other than Dr. Suchitra Pandit. And welcome, madam.
Can I share? If you stop sharing, then I can share my presentation.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Yes, just give me a minute. Is it seen?
Yes, ma'am. Make it full screen, ma'am.
Yes, I'm doing that. I'm just trying. Is that okay?
Can make it full screen.
Are you able to see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, let me say a big thanks to the ICOG team, Parag and Sarita, and of course, my dear friend, Dr. Vidya Tobe, for initiating this wonderful concept of nutrition first. And, you know, having heard two big bosses speak before, I'm just wondering, I hope please stay tuned so that you can listen to what I have to say. But Wheel of Wellness and the genomics, I think these are very, very happening things. And, we can't ignore those. And that's where I always feel we got to start with adolescent nutrition first, because before they blossom into adults, they are adolescents. So prevention of NCDs starting early is an absolute must. Now, we all agree that adolescence should be a carefree period. And usually we know that up to 45% of the skeletal growth occurs in this time, and 15 to 25% of the adult height is achieved during this time. Again, the height and the maximum amount of peak height velocity is achieved in this period. 37% of the total bone mass also gets accumulated. But for all this, you need a good nutrition, and this influences the growth and the development throughout infancy, childhood, and adolescence. And therefore, these nutrient needs are what we really need to focus upon, because if you have an undernutrition, not only will it delay the genital maturation for the boys, but it can also cause a delay in menarche and delayed breast development in girls. So, typically what is said is if there is a lack of nutrition or malnutrition, it can affect the 3 A's: the academics, the athletics, and the attitude. And special concerns for teenagers is because this is the time they grow, but they grow at different rates. So they have all their own ideas. They've got a different functioning of the brain, unrealistic expectations, particularly the girls, but today even the boys, of how they should look. So zero figure is what they all want, and they don't want to be overweight actually, but they're not realizing that unless they have that healthy diet, they will not be able to look what they want to look. And the fat diets to lose weight may be very, very dangerous. So usually when you see the growth spurts, for boys, it is around 12 years, but for the girls, it's earlier at 10 years. So this is the time when they need the proper balanced nutrition, because this is the time the maximum growth spurt will start. Body composition also starts changing, and therefore that nutrition advice here is very important, because when they have that correctly, they will be able to reach that optimal weight. Some eat more than they need and become overweight, and at the same time, if they're inactive, this leads to other problems like the metabolic syndrome. Whereas in girls, what we are noticing is they want to control their weight, so they end up having low energy diets. This diet is restricted and it excludes the full whole groups, and it can lead to nutrition deficiencies. So therefore, again, back to the same main line is encouraging a healthy lifestyle, because that will prevent the NCDs for the future. India is the NCD capital of the world, and we have to start at adolescence itself. In fact, even earlier in childhood, you have to start telling the mothers. But when they are into adolescence, maintaining their good habits throughout adolescence can be of great benefit, because that's how they will transit into healthy adults and individuals. So just a quick look at this, Hema talked about the wellness wheel, and here there are some figures which are coming in from the school children in Chennai, where the incidence of obesity 22% in the higher socioeconomic group, 15% in the middle socioeconomic group, and 4.5% in the lower group. And the same story is in the urban Delhi. So obesity is starting off at the younger age. So we know the effects, we all know, but in children, the added problem is there is a lot of physical inactivity these days, sedentary activities. Back in our school days, we had the compulsory PT class and we would play after school. But today they're all on their computers, or they're joining classes, or they're running from one place to another to catch the school bus. So in this, their sedentary lifestyle adds on to their inadequate dietary nutrients, and this starts off, sows the seed of the NCDs right there. And added to that, of course, are the PCOs and the genetic problems which can come in from the family. All these add on, and that can lead to that horrible obesity which starts off at a much more younger age. So the NCDs that I'm particularly talking about, we all know what they are, but we know that they are silent initially. They may progress slowly, and several NCDs, anemia, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cardiovascular problems, mental health, cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, all these are, a lot of them are lifestyle diseases. There is increase in aging population, unplanned urbanization, pollution, environmental pollution contributes to a lot of the NCD problems, and globalization. So though we know that NCDs, they are there for a longer duration, but they start their problems right in the young adolescent period. So they, again, with the adolescents, there is the eating disorders. There's a persistent disturbance in eating, probably distress, probably excessive concern about the body shape, and there could be an anorexia nervosa or bulimia. And we used to think it's typically seen in girls, but it is surprisingly increasingly seen even in the boys, and this impairs their physical health and psychosocial functioning. And I won't go into details of what anorexia nervosa is, because we all understand, but remember, it occurs around puberty, and if the anorexia persists and it is not readily treated, it may lead to a stunted growth and menstrual abnormalities in these girls, and can pose a significant risk to the bone health. So as far as bulimia is concerned, again, that obsession, it has to be picked up, and not just the nutrition problems, but these bulimics tend to also have poor dental health, because they take laxatives for puking out whatever they have eaten. They have a loss of self-control, they have excessive anxiety. So these things should be picked up and treated as soon as possible. And remember, the mantra is physical activity, starting off in the childhood, going on into the adolescent years. High impact physical activity during this time is particularly important, and young people must do at least 1 hour of moderate intensity activity. It could be whatever, whether they're living in the urban or the rural areas, things like cycling, running, swimming, or even simple things like walking, but walking at a faster pace at least should be done 2 to 3 times a week. And adolescent boys generally tend to be more active than the adolescent girls. And for some odd reason, once the girls have attained menarche, there seems to be a physical inactive phase. And if that is not pulled up by the teachers or the parents, this can persist. So these girls are also advised to get into that physical activity mode. And one very beautiful thought which comes to my mind is, in the earlier times, we all used to have those lovely family dinners when the entire family would sit and have a meal. Evidence actually has shown that if adolescents eat frequently together, at least one meal with their family, or at least 1 to 2 family members, they probably would eat more correctly, because eating alone can cause a problem of overeating, undereating, or obesity. So when you're sitting together, you can probably have a group, you can maybe talk, exchange thoughts for the day, and it encourages the mother or the father or the elder in the family, can encourage them to eat better. So the benefits of healthy eating, I think we all know, but CDC just spells it out: optimal growth, prevents the lipid problems, prevents the cardiovascular problems, and reduces the risk of obesity, osteoporosis, dental caries. So all the NCDs, we can actually tackle them at that stage itself. So poor nutrition, most of the common causes are because of the wrong perceptions that food that is low in fat and which is which is processed is probably the healthy food, but they don't understand that homemade food, which is freshly made, it is actually may not be with a lot of masalas, but it is much more healthier. And snacks like fresh fruit, nuts, or whole grain bread, or even curd is healthier to eat rather than keeping on snacking at the roadside dhabas that are there. And poor parental role modeling, particularly the mothers and fathers are both working and too busy. Lack of knowledge, lack of nutrition education. There are a lot of schools which now have started off this as a class, and the till the 5th standard, every day of the month, the one of the students' mothers gets food for the entire class, and the school sets out the healthy recipes, and every mother is told to get that food. So for 30 days, the children eat the same food, and they're happy because they're sharing, and that also, fosters a sense of belonging, fosters a sense of caring, and they know that they feel happier. So this is something which has started, and this can be taken up in the school programs. And many a times, as I've said before, the children don't want to put on weight, and the disordered eating is because they feel they'll put on weight. There is a peer pressure, there is a desire to build that muscle mass, looking at the celebrities or looking at the sports weight cutoff, and the media and advertising messages cause a lot. And obviously, consequences of a poor diet, we know it can lead to all the possible problems. But hunger and food insecurity, this is something which increases the risk of lower dietary quality and undernutrition. So yes, they can have fast food, but maybe they can do a cheat of once a week. But if it's had, or if they have it every day, then that can have a problem. Drinking sweetened beverages can result in the same risk, and therefore wrong eating is much more harmful. The children often ask questions, why should I eat breakfast? I'm in a hurry to go to school, carry on, finish my homework or whatever. But remember, that's the most important meal of the day because it helps you to concentrate, better memory, lesser absenteeism from schools, better mood, and children tend to have a healthier weight than those who skip breakfast. And one can choose. There are so many wonderful traditional homemade breakfasts like poha, upma, idli with millets, eggs, wherever their non-veg eating is allowed, or where they would like to have a glass of milk. But even breakfast cereals, which are high in fiber and low in fat, are good, but they're expensive. They're not always afforded by each and every person. But eating for study so that you do better, eating for sports so that you can play better, this is got to be impressed to our young boys and girls. And the surge in appetite, typically which occurs around 10 in girls and 12 years in boys, this foreshadows the growth spurt, and this is where the children develop the snacking habit. The fast food, the fried items, and the colas and sodas make them want to go more and more to have more and more of that. So this is a beautiful study by Gillespie way back in 1997, which says that if young girls have a good iron status, improve their hemoglobin, their pre-pregnancy weights are ideal, they have a good store of nutrients, probably they have an improved folate status. It can be a long way it goes into when they become adults and they want to then get pregnant and have children. It reduces a lot of the problems. And we know the caloric requirements are more in the boys and girls, but particularly tall and healthy boys or girls need a little more calorie, a little more amounts of energy, and more so into the middle and the late adolescence. But processed sugar or any processed food is going to give them that additional amount of sugar, which is of zero value, and therefore they should be again encouraged to have healthy eating. What is very importantly noticed is eating out is very convenient for the adolescents, particularly when they're going towards 14, 15. They want to be independent, make their own food choices, and they are guided again by the peer pressure. So best is for the parent encourage them to eat at home. Avoid bringing too much of processed food and colas. Don't stock it in your fridge, and talk to them about their positive body image. And helpful tips again, going back to nutrition education through school programs, teen magazines. Ask them for suggestions for home recipes. Get them involved in the food. Experiment with the food outside your own culture also. And most of the times teenagers like to snack, but keep healthy snacks available at home. And I won't go into details of the recommended calories because these charts are all there, but there is a definite recommended calorie and protein intake for the adolescents, particularly the fiber as well as the fats, and less than 10% should come from saturated fat. And fats are also essential. They must be given in the right proportion because they're essential for growth and development. And calcium, somehow people today, young boys and girls don't want to drink milk, don't like any milk and milk products, but they must be told that calcium is important for their teeth, bones, for preventing bone diseases, for muscles, for nerve transmission. And apart from milk and yogurt, they can try cheeses, paneer, or calcium fortified foods like soya products. Millets, wonderful source of calcium, iron, as well as protein. And for fish eaters, they can have fish as well as chicken or eggs. But leafy green vegetables and nuts also do provide some amount of calcium. Now, even milk, instead of milk, they can think of a frozen yogurt, but consumption of soft drinks should be avoided. Hello, just a few more slides. So, dietary references intakes are given everywhere, but get on to the adequate intake, the tolerable intake. Start looking at labels. Vitamins are important. Again, vitamins for all parts of the body. You have A to B to C to D. Everything's good to be taken in the right proportion. So, if you're wanting to take all the vitamins, fruits, vegetables, and some part of milk, those who are eating non-veg, fish, chicken, liver can give them. Anemia we have to combat right from the younger age. So because adolescents, you don't want these problems to occur in the later phases. So all the iron rich foods are important. And the last two slides, prevention of NCD is important. So focusing on a diet rich in fruits, veggies, whole grains, diet which is rich in calcium, zinc, good hydration, plenty of physical activity, and mindful and balanced eating habits. And in conclusion, eat well, eat small, frequent meals, eat when hungry, snack foods once in a way, try healthier snack. Avoid getting into the coffee habit, that is a caffeine strong coffee is not going to help you. 1 to 2 cups is okay. And regular exercise, and swap all these on the left side for something healthy. And overall strategy, nutrition education, nutritional labels should be checked, and regular health checkups. Thank you very much. Sorry for overstepping that time. Thank you. Hello, I've finished, Achla.
Achila, your comments, please. You have to unmute, Achila.
Unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was muted by the concept. Anyway, I think first of all, before I talk about Dr. Suchitra's talk, I think Vidya, very good initiative to take this, because today every disease, everything is related to nutrition. And Dr. Suchitra's talk on adolescent nutrition. Adolescents are building blocks of a nation. And when we take anemia, we have reduced it to some extent, but not in adolescent, because adolescents are some people who need to be tackled very gently and in a tactful manner. They have to be told what is good to them, what will produce good body image. And if they are told that way, what Dr. Suchitra said, the diet is the key to all the health problem solving. So I think nutrition has to be taken in a big way and should be more, advertised, and we should have more and more talks, seminars, public forums about nutrition, telling the adolescent that how it is going to help in their body shape and also preventing future diseases. Very good, comprehensive talk by Dr. Sujitra.
Thank you very much, all the three speakers. they're stalwarts in their own way. And they have given very clear-cut take-home message that you should include the nutrition checklist. Adolescent awareness and school programs are very, very necessary for obesity is on the rise, and NCDs are slowly creeping up, and the transgenerational whatever transmission is occurring, we have to stop somewhere. And nutrigenomics, whatever talk everybody has listened, that is a new start in a way for the treatment in future. So there are questions for Dr. Sanjay Gupta ki how we have to send a sample, where to send a sample, and any treatment is there. People are asking any gene therapy is there for obesity.
First of all, there is no gene therapy, but the gene expressions can be modified. So whenever one gets the report, it's a very detailed report of usually about 50-60 pages, and with good counseling, one can act on it. The tests are done. If somebody is interested, as Dr. Vidya has already put up, contact Green Array website, Green Array Genomics website, and you will get all the details there. And or you can contact me directly also if you don't find it there. But I wouldn't want to spend time on this commercial activity here. So any other scientific queries are there, I'll answer.
Yeah. Sonia, any queries are there in chat box? You can ask.
That was the question I put
Nothing
up,
as of
sir.
now.
Thanks for the answer also, sir. Yeah, because it's 10:15.
So one submission, I mean, Dr. Suchitra's talk was excellent. Yeah, Dr. Sonia. And recently in Karnataka, they have done the study in adolescents and found that this B12 deficiency. So now weekly they are giving iron and folic acid, but now as they have found out that multi micronutrients are deficient, okay? So they are planning to add this also. And there was one study done in Karnataka only back when they had provided milk and egg to children. So that time they did found that these deficiencies were not there. So now we know the diet. I think Dr. Suchitra did mention about the dietary changes nowadays in children craving and all that. And that is causing this macronutrients deficiency. So I think it is very important to take care of adolescent nutrition. Excellent talk by Dr. Suchitra.
Well, just one scientific comment, that even iron absorption has a gene. And if that gene variation is there, no matter how much oral iron we give, and of even good quality, it will not be absorbed. And these patients do require, parenteral iron. And, that's something I'm sure Dr. Hema is looking into, and she's working on that, why Anemia Mukta Bharat is not,
Happening.
actually succeeding.
Thank you, sir.
Rightly pointed out.
Thank you, Suchitra. Thank you, Hema, and all the chairpersons who have joined. Thank you very much for the first session. Yes. So
Thank you,
we
ma'am.
move on to the second session now.
I request Sonia ma'am to take over for the second session and introduce our speakers.
Yeah, I think before we move on to the second session, there's an important announcement from the organizing team. Dear doctors, we are all delighted to have you join us for this webinar. And kindly note that attendance is mandatory and participation are required. Participants are requested to stay till the end of the webinar in order to be eligible to receive the certificates. Thank you very much. Moving ahead, as we have heard about the first session speakers, it's now blossomed and blossom has happened. Our next scientific session is titled by our coordinator, Dr. Ashwin, as Nourish for Two, From Planning to Parenting. So this theme beautifully captures the journey of women from preconception stage through the pregnancy and beyond beyond emphasizing how nourishment at every step impacts. For this, there are topics: obesity, PCO, nutritional intervention, preconception nutrition, trimester-specific nutrition, which will be deliberated by our speakers. Dr. Ashwin, would you please invite and introduce the chairs?
Thank you, ma'am. Our first chairperson is our one and only faculty from Tamil Nadu, Dr. T. Ramani Devi. She was She was the president TNFOG 2024, National Vice President Foxy 2020, International Advisory Board member of Fertility
Ashwin,
Society.
make it short. Just as past VP and TNFOG past president. That's all.
Just I'll read one side, ma'am, because it'll not be respectful for you, ma'am. I don't do that.
Yeah.
And ICOG Governing Council member 2018-20, Managing Director, Ramakrishna Medical Center LLP and Janani Fertility Center, Chairperson Endometriosis Committee Foxy 2014-16, EC Committee member of SAFOG Infertility Committee 2016-18, Patron of the Indian Fertility Society Tamil Nadu Chapter, Patron of Tamil Nadu Federation of Gynecology, Executive Committee member of Endometriosis Society of India, Editor Foxy GCPR and Endometriosis in 2017, and a peer reviewer of Jogi, ARGGO, JPRI and JAMMR. Ma'am, I welcome you.
Thank you, Ashwin.
Next, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our previous past KSOGA president, Dr. Bharti Rajshekar. She is the KPMEA State Vice President, Indian Red Cross Hassan Director, IMA State Vice
Ashwin,
President.
cut all that. We will just go ahead.
A few more lines, ma'am. 2 more lines. I'm done.
The Foxy Perinatology Committee chair is enough.
She's the current chairperson of the
This is an
Foxy
old
President
CV.
Committee.
Yeah.
And I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And our third chairperson is the current chairperson of the Food, Drug and Nutrition Committee. She is the director of SNSA Hospital Raipur, medical director, Cancer Prevention and Relief Society, elected member of the CG Medical Council 2020-2025, chairperson, current chairperson of the Foxy Food, Drug and Medical Surgical Equipment Committee, president Raipur Menopause Society 24-26, executive CGISAR, CGSFM. Her interests are mainly on preventive oncology and colposcopy, saving
Ashwin, enough.
Yes.
I hope they know me.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Asha Jain.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So
I
How
request.
about Ashwin? Yeah.
yes.
I request our first, our chairperson, Dr. Ramani Devi, to introduce Dr. Shilpa Joshi. Thank
Good
you.
evening, all. First of all, I thank Dr. Vidya Dubey for having invited me for this very important webinar on nutrition on all aspects. And the previous 3 speakers have done their job excellently. And now we have Dr. Shilpa Joshi, who is the consultant dietitian in Mumbai Diet and Health Center, practicing dietitian and diabetic educator, Vice President of Indian Diabetic Association, Dietetic Association, Honorary Secretary, All India Association of Advancing Research in Obesity, Master Trainer in Diabetes Conversation Maps, and Course Director, National Diabetes Education Programs, and trained more than 3,000 diabetes educators and presented at various national international meetings, including American Diabetic Association, International Diabetic Federation, and International Confederation of Dietitians. Runner-up recipient of many international essay award of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetic Foundation in Malnutrition, awarded STRI Award by Foxy in 2019 and Sniff E. Ahan in 2024. I think we would have listened to n number of times Dr. Shilpa Joshi's talk. Whenever we remember that we have to plan a webinar on nutrition, no webinar will be complete without Dr. Shilpa Joshi. And the topic today that is excellent, that is a very, very common problem what we are facing, that is obesity in polycystic ovarian disease. And we know that the incidence of PCOS has dramatically increased. And what the obesity percentage was in earlier 2000, it was hardly 10% of the adolescent children were obese. But we know more than 30% of the adolescent, they are obese, and not only that, the incidence of PCOS is on the increase. So today, I think Dr. Shilpa will be educating us regarding the dietary management of PCOS, because it's very difficult to tell these children or tell these women with PCOS that you have to control, and that is the only way to overcome the complications of PCOS. Now over to Dr. Shilpa Joshi.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a warm introduction. And I'm unable to share my video, so I do not know. That is why my screen is off. because somehow it's not coming on, but I'll just start my talk since most of you know me. And thank you so much, Dr. Vidya Thobi, for having me here. Very, very kind of you. I'm going to be talking on obesity, PCOS, nutritional intervention. Now, I do not know how many of you know, but it is a very it's a beautiful coincidence, but September happens to be National Nutrition Month of India. Okay,
Yes.
and it is celebrated in under Ministry of Women and Child Development. It is called Poshan Maha. This is the eighth Poshan Maha this year that we are celebrating, and this year's theme is obesity. So it's a beautiful coincidence that it's the Poshan Ma, the theme is obesity, and I'm going to be speaking on obesity to you. So we know that all, issues of PCOS actually lie, the fulcrum of it is insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia, and therefore we have all the problems which are associated with PCOS. So hyperinsulinemia is the main reason or the main contributor. Along with it, leptin, and we see leptin resistance in lot of women with PCOS. Therefore, because of leptin resistance, they also have increased ghrelin levels. They have increased hunger. And Gupte sir was speaking about it, where he was talking that there will be certain patients or certain women who will find it difficult to curb their appetite. And these are all different hormonal issues which a woman with PCOS comes to us. Now, what is weight issues in women with PCOS? We know that women with PCOS actually find it harder than other women without PCOS to lose weight. So, improved abdominal obesity and sensitivity may occur in these women without overall change in body weight. And I think that is something we need to talk about, that lot of times women, when they do a weight loss program, especially when they come to dietitian and do a weight loss program, they will say, madam, scale pe weight is same, but inches have gone. My clothes have become loose, but the weight is not going. And lot of times we see that change in body composition actually starts improving all the markers of obesity, but there isn't drastic change in weight, in BMI. Body composition of patients who exercise regularly may change with increased lean body mass and decreased fat mass, but no overall change in weight. And I think that is something we need to talk to our patients, that sometimes you do not see it on scale, but you see it in inches, and you definitely see in the markers. So you will see better fasting sugar, better HbA1c, better lipids, better everything. So, this is also very important. And because we do not do body composition of every person that comes to us, ideally we should do, so that we start seeing a change in fat mass. And I know we are talking about obesity, but we also have a huge cross section of women who are lean PCOS. And in lean PCOS, if we start giving them a weight loss program, their parents get very worried. As it is, she's so skinny and now you're going to put her on weight loss. So I think in there, we really look at changing body composition rather than body weight. And I think in this, both take a very central role: diet, of course, but also exercise, especially anaerobic exercise and weight training. Then appetite in PCOS. Regulation of appetite is complex, and fluctuation in blood glucose levels may play a part in stimulating appetite and increasing energy intake. Both insulin and blood glucose fluctuates more widely in individuals with insulin resistance. So it is not only in women with PCOS, but even men who have insulin resistance, you will see that there are wide insulin and glucose fluctuation, and hence lot of times what they undergo, and this is very common in women with PCOS, is reactive hypoglycemia. So they will eat a full meal, and in half an hour they will be hungry. They will be opening the dabbas in their house to find a snack, and most of them will want to find something sugary, something sweet. They will say, I want one piece of chikki or one small piece of jaggery. Anything is okay. A date is okay, but I need something sweet once I eat. And it is reactive hypoglycemia because of increased insulin levels. Many women with PCOS describe carbohydrate craving as a reason for them difficult to having difficulty in losing weight. And this carbohydrate craving is coming from reactive hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is also known to stimulate feeding behavior. It increases both total food and fat intake. I mean, when you are hungry, most of the time when you're very hungry, you really don't think about what you're eating as long as you're eating something. And typically, like everybody has been speaking today, last 3-4 talks, that then when we choose to eat or when we choose to snack, most of the snack are unhealthy. They are high fat, high carb foods. Okay, now what are the calories? Okay, so beneficial effect in weight PCOS is seen with a modest weight loss even of 5%. So we are not looking at big weight loss. We are not looking at 15 and 20 and 30 kgs. Even if 5% is lost, a 100 kg woman becomes 95. She will have a lot of changes in her body hormonal levels. Modest weight loss achieved in short term may also improve hyperinsulinemia. We have seen that short period of caloric restriction leads to decrease in androgen level, and this is sufficient in some patients to restore their LH pulse frequency. So this is also very important. Now, meal frequency, and I think this is a question which comes to everybody. Should we have 3 meals a day, or should we eat every 2 hours, and so on and so forth? So there is very little research on influence of eating patterns on metabolic parameters. Now, there are some studies which show that those who ate frequently during day had higher intakes of carbohydrate, fiber, and range of micronutrients. Those who ate less frequently had higher intakes of fat, cholesterol, and protein. Now, this is Western diet. Okay, but in India, this is not true. This is not something we see in our practice. We see whether if you ate less frequently or more frequently. In India, if you eat, you still eat carbs and fats only. Whether it is breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snack, the choice is always to eat carbs and fats and never protein. Breakfast consumption was associated with lower energy intake and improved insulin sensitivity as compared to breakfast omission. So you want to eat in the morning so that you hope not to snack continuously till your bigger meal. But it is also very important what you eat in breakfast. If you are going to eat a very high carb breakfast like poha, upma, idli, dosa, bread, you are going to feel hungry every 2 hours. So it is very important that you choose a protein in the breakfast so that the gastric emptying is delayed, so that the GLP surge is in control, and therefore you are less hungry later on. Optimal frequency of food intake is yet to be determined, but a regular pattern with low intake from snacks seems to be desirable. So all that we know is snacking is not good for you. That is definite, that continuous snacking is not good for you. Ghrelin levels increase in response to anticipation of food, a strong argument for a regular but not too frequent episodes in individuals who wish to control their weight. Now, what are the dietary strategy, composition, and lifestyle modifications in PCOS? So one of them is low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet. Now, this has shown, there has been a lot of research. I've quoted a lot of papers, but high-carbohydrate diet or dietary pattern, even if the carbohydrates come from complex carbs, but if they are high, like 70% of your dietary intake, they have shown that they will worsen metabolic profile and also weight loss. So I am not saying you have to go carb free. Please don't get me wrong. But we don't have to go to 70% calories coming from carbs. That is where our Indian diets are situated as of today. If we talk to any patient who comes to our clinic, man or a woman, I'm just not saying about PCOS. It can be anybody. It can be a man, woman, a child, adolescent, adult, a geriatric patient. Everybody is consuming 70% calories of carbs. And when that happens, you will see high triglycerides, you will see problem in weight, you will see, if not generalized obesity, definitely abdominal obesity. And these are the problems with low fat, high carbohydrate diet. Now, the hard wiring in our DNA is whenever we want to lose weight, the only thing that we do is we restrict fat. We don't eat fried foods, but we keep eating extra chapatis, extra rice, extra millets, and that actually worsens the whole response. Replacing protein for carbohydrate, increasing the amount of dietary protein at expense of carbohydrate has shown to maintain lean body mass in weight loss patients and also reduce abdominal fat in insulin resistant subjects. I think this is a line which should be a takeaway, because even if you replace about 10% of your carbohydrate with protein, you will see a tremendous impact on body composition, on all your blood levels of whether it's cholesterol, whether it's sugar, whether it is any of them that you are looking at it. These diets have been shown to be more effective in improving weight loss after 6 months and 1 year. Because, if you look at any kind of dietary study, any kind of fat diet, say a very low carb diet in which you're consuming 20% carbs as net carbohydrate, you will see tremendous weight loss, but only for the first 3 months. Because after 3 months, these diets become almost impossible to follow because you get bored of them. So just removing 10% of your carbohydrate calories and replacing them with protein, I think is something which one can follow lifelong. Very, very low carbohydrate diets are there. They have excellent results in PCOS, but the point is they cannot be sustained, especially in Indian population, because our Indian population, when they think about food, they think about carbs. In fact, in lot of Indian cultures, so if you go to North India, they call meal roti. When they say khana khaya kya, they say roti khayi kya. So when you talk about a meal in terms of carbohydrate, just imagine how difficult are very low carbohydrate diets to follow. Although effective, we typically never advise them because they are very, very difficult to sustain. These are guidelines for guideline and intervention for PCOS. These are standard guidelines which are given. I'm just showing you because they are there. Reduced energy intake 5,000.
Has she lost network?
Hello, I'm here. Hello, can you not hear me?
Ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am. We can hear you, ma'am. Please go ahead.
She's audible.
I'm so
She's
sorry.
audible.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay, so sorry, here they have spoken about reduced energy diets, 500 to 1000 kilocal per day reduction. Understand, my friends, that if you're going to reduce 1000 kilocals of energy from your patient's diet, patient is never going to come back to you ever, because the patient is going to be starving most of the time. So we start with about a 250 kilocalorie per day reduction and gradually go up to 500, 600 kilocalories. And that itself leads to a lot of weight loss as long as you change the dietary composition, that you replace the carbohydrates with protein. These are all the standard guidelines. I'm not going to dwell with them a lot. Okay, now what is the another dietary strategy? Now we have a lot of young women who are, who are in jobs which does not let them eat full meals at home. See, in India, to get a balanced meal outside your home is virtually impossible. Even when, most of the places where you get a thali, you will see there are 3-4 chapatis, a mound of rice, very little dal, very little sabzi, almost no salad. Lot of times we tell our patients don't eat salad outside because they might get a GI infection. So in such cases, we need practical strategies for these young women who are in marketing jobs or who live in hostels or maybe who are residents in hospitals. We need practical strategies for these women. And these women do very well with meal replacement. They are expensive, but they are very, very effective. So we have a lot of meal replacements in our Indian market. They can use, if they can afford it, they can use it rather than eating wrong. This becomes a very clean, hygienic, and a very, I would say, no nonsense, where you don't have to use your brain too much. You open a packet, you drink it, and you're not thinking about, can I eat this? Should I eat that? Is this is low fat? Is this high protein? You don't have to do that. So I am not advocating them, but there are certain jobs, there are certain times in your life when eating a full meal is not possible. Getting home cooked meals is not possible. And this is a very, very good strategy for those women. Now, after Vidya Balan spoke about inflammatory diets, that she had inflammation and that is why she was not losing weight, I thought I should keep a couple of slides on anti-inflammatory diet, because PCOS is inflammation. Obesity is inflammation as well. So anti-inflammatory diet. So we know that ingestion of high glycemic food, not necessarily glucose. So glucose is inflammatory. But anything which is high carbohydrate, high glycemic index is inflammatory. And we see post consumption of any of this, your HSCRP levels are very high, which shows that these are pro-inflammatory product, and they actually cause a lot of problem, lot of atherogenesis, lot of increase in HbA. Is my time up? Is this
Yes.
for time up?
Yes, ma'am.
Oops. Let me show you 3-4 slides and then I'm done. So obesity is a pro-inflammatory state and there will be insulin resistance. So there is an anti-inflammatory diet which we are speaking about. So look at this. Composition of this diet is about 150 grams of carbohydrate, that is 600 kilocalories, coming from non-starchy vegetables and limited amount of fruit, and relatively rigid but not a total exclusion of carbohydrates such as bread, pasta, rice, and potatoes. Then there is proteins, about 100 grams of protein coming from either fish or chicken or vegetarian sources like dals and tofu, and limited amount of dairy maybe. Fats again about 50. So you look at the ratio. So 50 grams of fat per day. Again, most of this coming from long chain omega-3 fatty acids. Saturated fats very, very little. So this diet is called as 1-2-3 diet. That is, for every 1 gram of fat, you would require 2 grams of protein and 3 grams of carbohydrate coming primarily from vegetables and not from rotis and chawals and bhakris and all of that. This actually helps you to reduce silent inflammation. I am sorry. Oops. Are these slides blocked?
No,
okay.
no.
So I'm just showing you few slides just to make it lighter and also interesting. So fiber is must in every meal. Indians do not eat fiber in breakfast. It's either idli, it's either poha, it's either dosa. Include vegetables even in breakfast. Very, very important. It is written nowhere that you can't eat a salad in breakfast. Please eat it every single day. So instead of just eating salad, eating, so these are my patients' thalis. They were eating like just idli sambar chutney or anda bread, parathas, poha. Instead of that, with the same meal, we started giving them salad to see a lot of change in their body composition. Again, lunch ratios, so much carb and so little food. Instead of this, so little carb and so much of food. These are anti-inflammatory diets. So look at, this is somebody's dabba. If you can see, this is a dabba they have opened in the office. There is just one chapati, but there is a salad, there is a protein, there are 2 sabjis, and there is a dahi. I know it's a lot to carry, but people are carrying, and these are patient dabbas only. This is not my home food. So they are carrying and they are getting great results. These are snack options. Instead of eating khakras and biscuits, eat chana, eat nuts, eat seeds, eat fruit, rather than just eating ready packaged food. And I'm leaving you with this last slide. Please, whenever you talk to your patient, let them eat in this balanced way. Half plate of vegetables, a combination of raw and cooked, a 4th plate of protein, whether vegetarian or non-vegetarian, and only a 4th plate of carb, whether it is roti, whether it is rice, or whether it is a potato. Potato is not a vegetable. Potato is a starch. Calories are same as chapati or rice. Thank you so much for a patient hearing, and I'm sorry that I took up a little more time. Thank you.
It was a very nice presentation, Dr. Shilpa. I think you have practically given an overview how to modify our own diet as well as the anti-inflammatory diet. You have explained in beautiful. And I think we have to sit and listen to the patients, how they take their food. Then from there, we can modify what should be some little changes, as you have mentioned, to addition of some salad in the morning breakfast time. That will be very good. And then reduction of parallelly, you get the reduction of rice products, but as well as increase the proteins, etc. I think that will be a best advice. And you have rightly pointed out that reducing the calories too much and going in for a 2 meal per day, I think it will be very difficult for practically for an Indian woman, because our parents and our people, they will definitely force you to take more of a not a 2 day twice a day meal. But and other thing is, when you go for any functions, I always tell my patients avoid taking food in the function. Because one day they will say, give an excuse and have a full cut, and that is going to increase the calorie what they have lost by exercise or by dieting for a whole week. And finally, I should congratulate Dr. Shilpa for an excellent talk, and as well as all the organizers, and especially the ICOG chairperson and the secretary, Dr. Parag and Dr. Sharita and Dr. Asha Jain and Vidya Dubey for having given me this opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ramni.
Shilpa ma'am,
Excellent
could you
discussion.
just open the window? Could we have a look at?
I can't. That's the
Okay.
problem. I'm not able
Great.
to share. I wanted to sort of put up my
Okay,
screen,
thank you.
but I'm not.
Okay,
Not
thank
able
you. Thank
to.
you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you, ma'am.
Shilpa.
Thank you, ma'am. It gives me a great pleasure to request our next chairperson, Dr. Bharti Rajshekar, to introduce Sarita Balerao, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya Thobi, Dr. Parag, and of course, my dear friends, Dr. Sonia and Dr. Ashwin Rao. And it is indeed an honor for me to be here on this masterclass on nutrition. And Dr. Sarita Balerao will be deliberating on preconceptional nutrition. She is a consultant OBGYN at the Bhatia, Saifi, Reliance, and Beach Candy hospitals in Mumbai. She's been the secretary of Indian College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and has set up a very good example of academic excellence. She's been the immediate past chair of AICC RCOG West Zone, with the past president of Mumbai Society, past president of AMWI Mumbai branch, and the past chapter secretary of IMS Mumbai chapter. And over to you, madam. Preconceptional care, because today there is a paradigm shift from, we don't speak about healthy mothers and healthy babies. I think we need to speak about healthy women will deliver healthy children, and this fetal programming of inborn non-communicable diseases can be addressed only with adequate preconceptional nutrition. And we were focusing only on the iron and the folic acid supplementation. I think the days have changed. We have to talk about nutrition as a whole along with micronutrients. Over to you, Dr. Sarita. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bharti, for that kind introduction. And at the outset, let me congratulate Dr. Vidya Thobi for organizing this very interesting webinar, and also Dr. J.B. Sharma, convener, and Dr. Asha Jain as co-convener. I think it's a brilliant team. So, my topic is preconception nutrition. And as you said, Dr. Bharti, today many patients are coming for preconception counseling. And I think that preconception nutrition and counseling is really a very, very important part of this counseling process. And, we know that fertility is linked to conceiving. And here, both the male and the females, both of them, nutrition plays a very important role. And if we are able to improve their nutritional status, and we are able to improve their health when they enter, it will help them to conceive better. And here we have some nutrition objectives which say that we want to increase the proportion of adults who are at a healthy weight from 42% to at least 60%, which shows that there's a large number of young people at the reproductive age group who are not in at a healthy weight proportion. We also want to reduce the proportion of adults who are obese. We want to improve iron deficiency among females of childbearing age, and reduce the incidence of spina bifida and other neural tube defects from 7 to 3 per 10,000 live births, and birth defects from 1.7 to 1.2 per 1,000 live births. So we want to increase the proportion of women who receive preconceptional counseling. And when a couple comes to you, I think it's very important to first explain to them that there are nutrition related disruptions in fertility. Both underweight women as well as obese women have problems in conceiving. And we know that even recurrent pregnancy loss and miscarriages are more when the BMI is less than 19 or more than 25. So ideally, they should have a BMI of between 19 to 25. And at both levels of extreme, if they have very high exercise levels, that can also cause problems. And if they have no exercise at all, that can also cause problems. So it's very important that they achieve a midway balance. Now, first, let's look at undernutrition and fertility. And chronic undernutrition can lead to birth of small and frail infants with a high likelihood of death in the first year of life. And also, acute undernutrition is associated with a dramatic decline in fertility that recovers when the food intake does. And one of the examples here is in elite athletes. And we have sometimes have athletes nowadays. Women are doing elite sports, and when they are trying to maintain their weight at a very low level and they are trying to exercise to exhaustion, they have can face problems in fertility. So they need to have a good nutrition program which will then improve their fertility. Again, when they have a very high body fat, even that can cause problems, and both extremes are dangerous. So infertility is lower with a BMI of less than 20 or more than 30. So I think, though I said 19 to 25 is ideal, I think 20 to 30 is an easy number to remember. And if they should try to get in that before they conceive. Now, when we also look at male fertility, it's interesting that studies from World War II showed that 50% decrease in male fertility during starvation. And with males who are undernourished, their viability, motility also decreases when their weight is very normal. And those who are obese also, when their BMI is high, they can have viability and motility problems. What about exercise and infertility? It goes hand in hand with the nutrition, as Dr. Shilpa Joshi just mentioned. And adverse effects of intense physical activity are delayed age at puberty, menstrual cycles affected, appear to be related to these hormonal and metabolic changes. This caloric deficit causes difficulty in conceiving, and therefore they have decreased bone densitometry and also low levels of body fat. So identifying these women is important. They have to have a good nutrition program and moderate intense exercise so that they can bring up their BMI and then conceive later. Now, diet may also impact hormones, and we see all types of different diets. We see vegetarian diets, low fat intake diets, high dietary fiber intakes, and also things like caffeine and alcohol and smoking, which will also affect things. There's a lot of talk on oxidative stress and antioxidants and fertility. And today we know that oxidative stress in men decreases sperm mobility and reduces the ability of the sperm to fuse with an egg. And oxidative stress in women also, their egg quality is not good. It interferes with the corpus luteum function, it interferes with implantation of the egg. And so there are some natural antioxidant things which are present, which they should include in the diet. And things like vitamin E, vitamin C, beta carotene, and selenium are important. They are found in vegetables and fruits. And if they have a different fruit every day, if they include a good number of salads and fruits in their diet, then these antioxidants will naturally be there. Plus, these antioxidants protect cells of the reproductive system, including the eggs and the sperms. So, I think that most dietitians recommend that the plate should have multiple colors, and that will include the antioxidants. In men, zinc status is important because zinc also reduces oxidative stress and has an important role in sperm maturation and an important role in prevention of fertility. So that is also important. Now, a very, very important area is iron. And for fertility, also iron is important. For pregnancy, also iron is important. And identifying iron deficiency preconceptional will go a long way in helping the mother and the baby. And many Indian women we know enter pregnancy with inadequate iron stores. So, one, of course, is to check their iron, and the second is to give them an iron rich diet, include things with good iron sources. What about caffeine and fertility? So we know that excessive caffeine results in lower fertility. So they should have a moderate amount. They can have 1 cup of coffee morning and evening, but sometimes people are having in their offices coffee and very strong coffee every 2 hours, and that's also not a good thing. What about alcohol? Alcohol may also decrease estrogen and testosterone levels and disrupt menstrual cycles. So they should be moderate drinking, social drinking, not binge drinking is okay. If they have 1 to 2 drinks in a week, that is all right. But heavy drinking, binge drinking, all these things should be stopped before trying to conceive. So antioxidant nutrition, then supplementing vitamin D, because vitamin D low status is also related to fertility, and things like heavy metal exposure, lead, mercury, etc. I think a lot has been said about folic acid, and folic acid is very, very important. And folic acid is destroyed by cooking. So, for women do need folic acid supplements. Yes, I can see Dr. Sheila Mane has said B12 deficiencies also leads to hyperhomocystinemia. So I think folic acid and B12 supplementation is a must, and we are all doing it in practice. And recommended dietary intakes are also there for preconceptional women. And I think if they have good fruits, vegetables, those who eat non-veg, if they're able to eat chicken and fish, they will get these nutritions. So, CDC does recommend a preconceptional health initiative. They recommend that the primary healthcare visit includes preconceptional health, pregnancy and outcome education, and nutrition education, along with screening for vaccination, weight, iron and folate status, assessment of alcohol use, and management of other things. So, I'd like to say that for all our preconceptional patients, what we should do is step one, a good nutrition assessment. Though it takes time in our clinics, we can do it quite easily. Then we do their nutrition diagnosis. We suggest steps for nutrition intervention, and we do nutrition monitoring, and we also do nutrition evaluation as well. So it's very important that we do all these things. So I thank you all for a patient hearing. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Ashwin,
Do we have any
we are
questions?
running short of time. We'll take the question answers later at the end of the
Question the end. Okay, ma'am. Fine.
Let them put in
Ma'am,
the
can we
chat
move on to
box.
session 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are moving on to session 3. Third session is Nourish the Pause, Embrace the Power. It is not just a theme, but it's a reminder that menopause is not an end, but a new beginning.
Oh, you have missed my talk, Ashwin.
Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Sorry. So once again. I might just slowing down here. I'm so sorry. So I'm sorry. I would like Dr. Asha Jain ma'am to introduce Vidya Tobi ma'am. I'm so sorry again, ma'am.
So thank you, Ashwin. So, Madam is the one who has been the push behind this whole program. So she is the push and the shove. So, ma'am, it's a pleasure being here with you. And I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Vidya Thobi, ma'am. She is the professor and former head Department of Obstetrics and Gynae, AMC Vijaypur. She is the VP elect Foxy for the year 2025, and next year she's going to take over as the Vice President Foxy. She's President Kasoga 2023. She was chairperson of the committee that I'm heading today, Food, Drugs and Medical Surgical Equipment Committee 2018 to 20, and won the Best Foxy Committee Award. She's been the ICOG Governing Council member 23 to 25, Foxy Champion Award 2019, National Corresponding Editor of Jogi, Organizing Chairperson of Kasoga 2023, President Bijapur Gynec Society 2009, Secretary Obstetric Gynec Society Bijapur 2007. She has various publications and contributions to Foxy. As a speaker at national and international conferences, she has papers in national and international conferences. She's organized various CMEs, workshops, and awareness programs. She's also on the advisory faculty of boards, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, PG and UG teacher for many 30 years, and also she is a mentor to most of us. So welcome, Dr. Vidya. We are eager to listen to
Thank you, Dr. Asha.
trimester-specific nutrition.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Asha, and it was a wonderful introduction. And I always owe to the ICOG office bearers, Dr. Parag Biniwale, as well as Dr. Sarita Bhalerao, who are always supporting my all the activities, whatever I do for ICOG as well as outside. And I hope my slides are visible. So my talk today is something trimester-specific nutrition, the way forward. Now we have all come to conclusion, and there are many various studies that iron and folic acid are not at all enough, and there is a precision for the multi-micronutrient supplementation. So nutrition is a foundation of life throughout pregnancy, beyond, and across the life of a woman. So why maternal nutrition matters? The foundation of maternal and fetal health prevents intergenerational effects. So we always talk of Barker's hypothesis, and there's so many chronic diseases, stunting, growth restriction, as well as we talk of epigenetics, and all these happen because of the wrong nutrition. So first 1,000 days is a critical window we talk of, and nutrition now matters forever. So balanced diet does affect, and it has got preconception, first trimester, second and third trimester, and postpartum. There are various macro as well as micronutrients which are required for each trimester specifically. And there are critical periods of development of embryos, fetal organs and tissues, and we aim at appropriate gestational gain as well as post-delivery weight loss. We have seen post-delivery obesity and again deficiency of various micronutrients even postpartum. So there are other issues like age at conception, energy balance. We talk of obesity, chronic diseases, infectious diseases, inflammatory diseases, all those things which affect our diet. Now, role of micronutrients when we talk of in stages of pregnancy. Now, preconceptionally, we require different type of micronutrients like folic acid. Then conception and implantation, various vitamins and minerals are required. Then comes the organogenesis. And definitely some nutrients are definitely required for the neurological development of the fetus. So we have to think over these micronutrients and its deficiency. Now, there were various studies published, and there was a significant difference which was observed in the micronutrient levels across 3 trimesters. So they studied about the ferritin levels, vitamin B12, copper, zinc, selenium, and iodine. And they found that there was every trimester, the various levels where they detected. So it was very well researched. And apart from vitamin B12, they also studied these micronutrients which are essential for the fetal development and maternal health. When they studied the NFHS, what were the key findings? What is the Indian context? Over 50% pregnant women were anemic, 18% newborn, low birth weight, and 20% of the women, they begin pregnancy underweight. So there is a obesity as well as underweight. So there was a gross difference in urban and rural population. Urban triple burden, there is undernutrition, deficiency, obesity, and suddenly this concept has come like hidden hunger, like vitamin B12, vitamin D, zinc, and iodine deficits. So there is a triple burden of malnutrition. Low protein and low energy causing undernutrition, stunting, and wasting. Low vitamins, low minerals, there is a hidden hunger, micronutrient deficiencies, and low nutrient but high energy. Like we see many adolescents, they are taking this empty calories. So there is a again burden of overnutrition, overweight, and obesity. So low nutrient density of foods and diets is a uniform cause of malnutrition. So we always call mall as a malnutrition. Whatever we get in the mall is malnutrition. So iron and folic acid protocol, we have seen 75 years of iron folic acid. We have seen the history and what are the limitations. Despite decades of iron folic acid supplementation, various anemia mukta Bharat, various interventions, the anemia remains rampant, indicating that only iron and folic acid alone is insufficient. Even if you give the tablets, often it causes side effects. The patient won't tolerate, they won't take, they have got their own taboos. There is a nausea, constipation leading to poor adherence, and the compliance is very poor. So it alone cannot fully correct the hidden hunger. So ICMR and WHO, they move towards multiple micronutrient supplementation with new guidelines. And ICMR convened an expert group to introduce this multiple micronutrient supplementation in India. The United Nations International Multiple Micronutrient Antenatal Preparation is a standardized formulation, and it provides 5 minerals and 10 vitamins at glass. So it recommends the use of MMN, that is multiple micronutrients, instead of iron and folic acid supplementation for preventive care rather than curative care during pregnancy. So there were publication in last year only, 2024, and around 15-member expert committee released a special report suggesting use of India-specific multiple micronutrients, including iron, folate, and calcium, instead of only iron, folate alone during pregnancy. So there are WHO recommendation also on these antenatal nutrition, which is an update on multiple micronutrient supplementation. So these are the recommendation, and these are the supplementation, and this is the formulation which contains all the vitamins, minerals, as well as iron and folic acid in proper preparation by United Nations, and WHO recommends. Our ICMR 2020 recommends following micronutrients for pregnant women, and this is a composition of multiple micronutrients what ICMR has advocated. So even FIGO, and this is a publication by FIGO, using a FIGO nutrition checklist counseling, where the counseling is also done about the micronutrients during preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum period. And these guidelines highlight the need for the balanced diet, potential supplementation, especially with identified deficiencies or at risk. But now universally we advocate that multiple micronutrient supplementation should be given, and that should be a trimester specific. From first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, the requirements are different. So in this article, we see our contributory as a Dr. Hema Divakar's article. This is about the nutrition checklist, and we heard the last talk was hers, and we learned a lot how to implement those FIGO nutrition checklist in our practice. Now, ICMR, WHO, and FIGO recommendations for India. This is a model of multi-micronutrient model, where the iron, folic acid, and calcium is replaced by the multiple micronutrient model, includes iron, folate, and calcium, and various micronutrients. So we all know that iron, folic acid reduced anemia, neural defect, but there is a limited scope. It misses other micronutrients and vitamins like zinc, omega-3, iodine, and B12. All these are missing there, and that leads to multiple deficiencies. When this formulation is advocated, it is comprehensive, evidence-based, and it is endorsed by WHO and ICMR, but it calls for precision and trimester-specific care. So why trimester-specific? Nutrient needs are shifting across the pregnancy. One size fits all supplements. It can be under or oversupply. Tailored approach ensures precision, improves the compliance as well. So shift from one multivitamin throughout, tailored trimester-specific packs. It should also, you should also advise about the balanced diet. You should do proper counseling, and routine screening is a must, and trimester sensitive multiple micronutrient supplementation should be given. So preconception, we heard Sarita elaborate talk, so I'll not go into the details. She talked about the how micronutrients help for the implantation, healthy pregnancy, and also we learned a lot from Dr. Sanjay Gupta how the nutrition also influences the epigenetics, programming of the gametes, and how the genetics have influence. So proper nutrition, proper means inclusion of multiple micronutrients definitely improves the birth outcome, increases birth weight, lowers the low birth weight babies, decreases the miscarriages. what is a keynote we should take? That many women in India, what they come very late, and they're already underweight, they're anemic. So that's why you should start supplementation before conception. So these all things we know, that folic acid, what it is meant for, how it prevents neural tube defects, iron, vitamin D, calcium, iodine, zinc, omega-3, vitamin A. I'll not go into details because every one of us know how it has got its effect on the various micronutrients and macronutrients on the development of fetus. We have to, whenever the woman comes, we have to counsel, then screen for anemia is very much, which is very much important. And if you remember Hema's that chart, nutritional risk assessment chart, you should always see for the BMI, thyroid disorders, before conception, start folic acid, and individualize supplementation based on the risk factors. Adopt the 1,000 days, but you have to add now preconceptional approach. Now, what happens in the first trimester? There is organogenesis. There are key milestones. You have to think on these developments of neural tube, the closure of neural tube, we know, and cardiac development, placental formation, and the nutrient of focus in the first trimester: folate, vitamin B6, zinc, vitamin D, iodine, omega-3, magnesium, and selenium. So balanced diet is always essential, but plus you have to do counseling for these critical micronutrients. Usually we withhold iron in the first trimester because it is not well tolerated. Now in second trimester, there is a rapid growth and ossification, maternal blood volume increases, there is iron absorption increases, calcium transfer occurs. In fetus, there is a skeletal development, thyroid function, brain PUFA accumulation is there, iron required for blood volume and blood hemoglobin, and calcium for the skeletal growth. Vitamin C improves iron absorption. Various micronutrient has got its own role. And we all know about the iodine and omega-3 for the neurodevelopment, improved appetite, and window for counseling. There are emerging evidences for the choline also nowadays, and there are many studies which are published for the choline also. Iron, calcium, folate are the main key. Magnesium, vitamin K, DHA are very, very critical in the third trimester where the maturation and maternal strain is going on. Fetus, brain myelination takes place, skeletal mineralization, fat deposition. In mothers, there is an increased insulin resistance, calcium transfer occurs, bone turnover occurs, and there is a high energy demand plus 500 kilocalories per day. Maternal reserves are maximum, which is required. And we all know that is a fourth trimester postpartum lactation, the caloric requirement increase, iron, calcium, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B12, omega-3 for the again fetal brain development, supports maternal recovery and breastfeeding outcome, and supports infant brain development and prevents maternal anemia. So all these trimester, the different micronutrients are required. We all know about in first, second, and third, and in the postpartum, what things are happening in the mother as well as in fetus. And these are the micronutrients in focus, like iron, vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium, iodine, folate, and vitamin B12 and DHA for brain development of the baby. So why not one macro multivitamin throughout? So nutrient demand shift across the trimester. So trimester specific multiple micronutrient supplementation reduces pill burden and improves the compliance. So these are the trimester wise nutrient priorities. I have already mentioned those, so I'll not go into the details of trimester specific nutrients, what we require. I just want to know about, means in the third trimester, definitely you need, the magnesium is coming up for the brain, this one skeletal mineralization and other factors. Magnesium is another micronutrient which is in now study. Means studies are already published, but it has drawn the focus of everybody whenever we talk of new micronutrients, as well as choline in the preconception and first trimester. These are the two other additional micronutrients which are also required. Now, these are the various studies published. I have just taken the one main study, the National Post conception and during lactation for maternal and fetal care, they have done multi-nutrient tablet with 17 vitamins and minerals, and they have found out that what are the maternal and fetal benefits. So preconception supplementation with MMS improved certain domains of intellectual functioning at age 6 and 7. And it was associated with, I'll just finish within 2 slides. So they have found multiple advantages if multi-nutrient daily supplementation is done. So what are the barriers and realities? Pill burden, compliance issues, food taboos, cultural barriers, need for clinician leadership and counseling. So what is the way forward for India? One is integrate nutritional counseling, screening, routine screening, follow the nutritional checklist, adopt Indian specific multiple micronutrient supplementation formulation. ICMR has guidelines in 2024 with dietary counseling. So these formulation promote trimester tailored supplementation and clinicians to lead adoption and empower women, collaborate with dietitians, nurses, and digital tools. Now many digital tools have come up, and there is femtech revolution. And every time we cannot afford to have a dietitian like Shilpa Joshi, but we have to find out at least a basic thing: how much calories are required, what is obesity, what is a BMI, and we can give some tailor-made dietary advice to the woman. So call for action: every antenatal visit, opportunity for the empowerment, ensure right nutrient at right time in the right way towards healthier mothers and healthier next generation. So the right nutrient at the right time change not only just one life, but generations to come. Thank you. And these are the various FIGO recommendation on adolescent preconception, maternal nutrition, specific nutritional requirements before conception, increases in pregnancy lactation based on Institute of Medicine, which is recommended, dietary allowance and adequate intake guidelines. These are FIGOs, but ICMR has also come out last year only 2024 various recommended whatever the recommendations are there. You can go to the website and download ICMR 2024 guidelines. So these are there, and this is just a E12 plate. Like that, you have a GDM plate also, which was brought by again Dr. Hema Diwar. Whenever we talk of medical nutrition therapy in GDM, this is the E12 plate. You can just explain how much proteins, how many vegetables she should eat, drink lot of water, and milk dairy products. Thank you very much for the patient listening, and I thank the Foxy office bearers as well as ICOJ office bearers for giving me opportunity to conduct this masterclass on nutrition. Thank you very much, all the chairpersons who have joined, and I thank all the delegates who are listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya. That was really comprehensive. And I think your last slide summed it all. That good nutrition in pregnancy is what will take care of the generations to come. So it's not something we talk so much preventive, but it is something that we all need to keep in mind. And actually, call to action that you wrote is the best thing to write. It is the call to action. We need to give time for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. Over to you, Ashwin.
Ashwin, you unmute yourself. Ashwin, you're muted. Ashwin, you're muted.
Shreya, make the
Ashwin, we
co-host
are not able to listen to you. We are not able to.
Ma'am, they muted me. I couldn't unmute myself. That's why.
Yes, done.
Now I can hear you, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, if we are we taking any questions, or we'll have it in the end, ma'am?
At the end, because Dr.
We'll have it in the end.
Deepika
Yes,
has
ma'am.
to go.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
We should listen. Yeah.
Sure. So it gives me great pleasure to move on to the third session, the session on nutrition in menopause. So if you look at it, our theme is going to be Nourish the Pause and Embrace the Power. This is more than just a theme. It's a reminder that menopause is not an end, but a new beginning. This transformative phase in a woman's life brings unique challenges, but also opportunities for strength, vitality, and renewal. Today's session will focus on how the right nutrition can ease the journey, prevent long-term health risks, and empower women to thrive during and beyond menopause. So if we can have our chairperson CV, please. So our first chairperson will be Dr. Rajendra Singh Pardesi. He's got 27 persons presented in the national conference up to now to his name. 6 times Best Paper awardee in Foxy AICOG conferences, was faculty at AOCOG 2011 Taipei and AOCOG 2013 in Bangkok. He was also faculty at FIGO 2016 at Kuala Lumpur, was chairperson of Food Drug Medical Surgical Committee Foxy 12 to 14, and was VP 2019-20 and now VP MOX 2022. Sir, I welcome you. Next, it gives me pleasure to introduce Dr. Shailaja R. Bidri. She is the professor and HOD of OBGYN, BLDE, Sri BM Patil Medical College, Hospital Research Center, Vijaypura, Karnataka. EC member, North Zone, Kasoga 2023, post of Honorary Secretary, BOGS. Academics-wise, she's presented multiple papers in the national and state conferences. She's got a lot of national and international journals publications to her name. She was faculty of various regional, state, and international conferences. She got multiple awards like Senior Scientist Award, Best Doctor, Inner Wheeled Rotary Club Award for Women in Science Award from Vijaypura. And she's got international research projects including Champions Trial, A+ Trial, Action 1, 2, Cryopop, etc. In public awareness, she gives multiple talks on PPH and menstrual hygiene in Vijaypura. Multiple camps conducted by her as well on cervical cancer screening in collaboration with the government. She's also a member of the district MTP committee, Grievance Cell KPMEA Vijaypura, and she's also the president of the Bijapur Obstetrics and Gynecology Society, and ex-EC member of Kasoga. Ma'am, I welcome you again. And our third CV is on Dr. R.S. Sharma. He's FNAMS, FICRM. He's a distinguished professor, Department of Biochemistry, SBT Galgotias University, Greater Noida, UP. He's a fellow of the National Academy of Medical Sciences, India, fellow of the World Health Organization, Geneva, fellow of the Rockefeller Biotechnology Career Fellow from US. He's also a fellow of the Indian College of Reproductive Medicine. Multiple awards to his name, like the G20 Healthcare Commitment Award 2023, Foxy Achievers Award 2022, Lifetime Achievers Award Manipal University 2022, Lifetime Achievement Award ISSRF 2020, and Lifetime Achievement Award UA ISA 2019, and Lifetime Achievement Award ISA 2018. He's got multiple publications and multiple faculty opportunities to his name. I welcome you again to this program, sir. I next request Rajendra Singh Pardesi sir to introduce our first speaker of session 3, Dr. Deepika Rastogi.
Sir is not joined yet.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to recognize sir. I think he joined and I don't see.
Sonia, you can only introduce, no problem. You introduce her, no? Deepika Rastogi.
Yeah. You're welcome, Dr. Deepika. And it's a proud privilege that we have you amongst us. And we know your achievements. You're a fellow of... am I audible? Hello?
You are audible.
Yeah.
Audible.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
Madam Dr. Deepika is a graduate and a senior consultant in neonatology pediatrics at Yashoda Super Speciality Hospital, Ghaziabad. And she is having an academic achievement. And during her fellowship, she was awarded as the best research methodology in 2019 at Canada. And she's a recipient of 4 gold medals during her MBBS course. And she has many publications to her credit. And we know her areas of interest as per her CV goes a long way. But then for today, I think we need to know more about your favorite topic and you're roping in with the OBGYNs in the first 1,000 days, a critical window for lifelong health. So this is the topic of deliberation today. Thank you for accepting the invitation, Dr. Deepika. Over to you.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Thank you so much. I really thank all the organizers, the Foxy group, the ICOG group, for, inviting me to this forum of renowned obstetricians, where probably I am the only pediatrician neonatologist. But I think we do have a lot in common. And most of our work is done by you as soon as the patient conceives. So that is why today's topic, the topic of interest being the first 1,000 days, which is really a critical window, not just for short-term outcomes, but also goes a long way in deciding the outcomes, physical as well as mental, for the child when he becomes an adult. So let's first understand what is this first 1,000 days. So it is very, very important to understand that these first 1,000 days actually start right away from the day of conception. So the first 20 to 70 days, that is the 9 months of pregnancy or the 40 weeks of pregnancy, along with the first 2 years of life, if we count them together, they actually become 1,000 days. It is very, very important for us to understand that why are we talking about these first 1,000 days? What is so important? What is so critical in these first 1,000 days? Next slide, please. So these first 1,000 days actually set the window for how our brain grows, because majority of our brain development happens in the first 1,000 days. That is right away from the day when the child is being conceived, the neurulation, myelination process starts. We are born with a very small number of neurons, but over the first 2 years, the number of neurons just increases exponentially. And that is why these first 1,000 days give us a window of opportunity to build not just a healthy infant or a neonate, but also a healthy adult. So this is just a diagrammatic representation, or a graphical representation to understand why and how we are concerned for the first 1,000 days. We can see here that during the conception, during the in utero or the fetal life, a lot of critical processes are happening, especially in the first 3 months when there is neurulation, cell migration, and then the myelination starts, synaptogenesis goes on. But we can see that the majority of this process is completed in the first 2 years. Our brain almost reaches 80% of the adult size by the end of 2 years. And that is why these first 1,000 days are highly critical to make sure that the mother is healthy so that she can give birth to a healthy neonate. So to again understand, in brief, that why poor nutrition in the initial few days or during the pregnancy and in the first 2 years of life can have long-lasting impact, because at 4 weeks of pregnancy, our brain only has 10,000 cells, but by 24th week, we have 10 billion cells, and by the age of almost 7 months, we can say majority 60%. By the end of 2 years, 80% of our brain cells have already been developed. So if anything goes wrong during these 1,000 days, it can have a very, very critical impact, not just on the infant as a child, but also as an adult. In our previous slide, in a previous session, ma'am very clearly discussed about, the role of various micronutrients. We can go back to the next slide. We can go to the next slide, yeah. I think ma'am just briefly discussed about the role of various nutrients, micronutrients in, various processes that are happening in utero. Right away from implantation, vascularization of the placenta, the morphogenesis, organogenesis, as well as neurological development. Various vitamins and minerals have known to have a significant impact on, like periconception. We know folate is important. For implantation, we know vitamin B12, D, E, folic acid. Vitamin C, D, E, and folate have a critical role in vascularization. A lot of nutrient transfer is happening in utero, and the majority of this nutrient transfer is happening in the third trimester of the pregnancy. That is why we sometimes struggle a lot with our extreme preterms who did not had those last 3 months where the critical transfer of nutrients from mother to fetus was had to happen. So we can understand that all these vitamins and nutrients like zinc, folate, niacin, riboflavin have a very, very critical role to play in different processes that are happening in utero as well as in the later life. So if the mother has deficiency in any of these micronutrients, would it affect her growth? Yes, absolutely yes. I think the entire seminar has been on maternal nutrition. So of course, if the mother is malnourished in any way, malnutrition can be underweight, can be overweight, can be micronutrient deficiency, can be macronutrient deficiency. it not just affects the mother, but it also affects the hormonal adaptations that are happening in the fetus. It also leads to something which is called epigenetic changes, which we are going to discuss in the next few slides, which not just lead to fetal growth restriction, but it leads to programming or reprogramming rather of the fetus, which can increase the predisposition to long-term metabolic changes that happen in the body, right from renal functions, cardiovascular functions, endocrinal insufficiencies in form of pancreatic and B cell dysfunctions, abnormalities of body composition leading to obesity because it leads to insulin resistance at tissue level, as well as pulmonary functions. So all these compound together and put the child at risk for something which is called metabolic syndrome or cardiometabolic risk as an adult. And this could be one of the reasons that, these days, all these so-called lifestyle disease, related diseases have become so rampant. Their incidence is rising, and even the age at which the onset of these so-called lifestyle diseases are happening is much lower down. So I think maternal micronutrient deficiency could be one contributing factor to the rising incidence of diabetes, hypertension, as well as obesity, even in Indian population. So this perinatal period is sometimes also referred to as brain time because it is a very, very key time which determines how our cognition, how our educational and motor skills are going to be influenced by our early nutrition. Again, this graph, we can see that the first 2 years are very, very critical in how our sensory pathways are developing, how our language is developing, how our higher cognition function is developing. So any changes that happen in these first 1,000 days can actually give rise to large permanent changes, which can impact our cognition, not just a structural change in the MRI, but as well as functional. There have been a lot of research groups who have been trying to map the MRI and see how these nutrient deficiencies can impact our structure and function. And interestingly, the MRI mapping has suggested cognitive effects of early nutrition. For each kg reduction in birth weight, this was a very significant study which saw that there was a 13-point loss in verbal IQ as an adult. I think this is something which we all are familiar with, the Barker's hypothesis, or so-called fetal origin of adult diseases. A lot of chronic diseases happen not just because of a genetic predisposition, but also because of the epigenetic changes that happen during this perinatal period or in the first 1,000 days, like diabetes and hypertension, like we were discussing in the previous slide. There are two distinct processes that can happen due to these changes that are happening. To understand them in a very, very simple term, they're called developmental plasticity and developmental programming. Plasticity is the ability of an organism to develop in various ways depending on the environment or the surrounding. And most importantly, from my perspective, from a neonatal perspective, we use this term for extreme preterm babies who are at already risk for neurodevelopmental impairment. Usually we tell their parents that, these preterm babies have a lot of neuroplasticity. So, because their brain is growing, so they have a lot of ability to adjust to the environmental settings. However, there is something which is called developmental programming. So developmental programming is a process by which a stimulus or an insult during a critical window of development, early development, causes long-term changes in our growth, structure, function, which can result in persistent alterations to the organism's phenotype and increase the risk of diseases later in life. So this is what actually can happen with maternal malnutrition. It can lead to epigenetic changes, which increases our risk for chronic non-communicable diseases. To summarize, I'm sure this has been discussed previously in today's webinar, that maternal nutrition can have short-term outcomes on that pregnancy, not just on the mother, but also on the fetus. It can lead to pregnancy losses. It can increase the risk of preterm birth. It can result in congenital anomalies, can compromise the pregnancy outcome, but it can also lead to long-term consequences on the child's life as an adult. Again, summarizing, that increases the risk of obesity, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, can compromise their cognitive abilities and increase the risk for other non-communicable diseases. I think so. That is where our role as a team comes in, obstetrics and neonatology or pediatrics. We both, as a multidisciplinary team, hold a very, very key role to make sure that this critical window of opportunity is not compromised and is being well taken care of. Not just international forums like USAID, American Academy of Pediatrics, and UNICEF, but also our own national forums like National Health Mission and Outlook Potion 2.0 have been endorsing the concept of first 1,000 days of nutrition. Because the mission First 1,000 Days of Nutrition focuses on bringing about a change that can help ensure the mother as well as the baby staying healthy during the pregnancy and prepare for a better future. A lot of research has been done on the most high impact actions, and we can say that working on the first 1,000 days could be one of those high impact actions because it can save more than 1 million lives every year. It can significantly reduce the economic burden of diseases, infectious diseases. If we are healthier, we'll have less infectious diseases like tuberculosis, which is still rampant in our country. Reduce the risk of developing various non-communicable diseases. It can improve our achievements as an adult, not just economical, but also educational, and can increase the country's gross GDP by at least 2 to 3% annually. So this is a dual approach. It is not just the multi-micronutrient model for the mother, but also ensuring the first 2 years of the infant nutrition. And we all know that this first 2 years begins with exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months, followed by the complementary feeding till 1 year. And then we usually advise that the child should be fed from the family. That is what the family is eating, which is being commonly referred as family pot diet after 1 year of age. So there is no denying that there is nothing better than the mother's own milk. Mother's own milk or the breastfeed is nature's superfood. It contains a variety of nutrients, growth factors, hormones, which naturally takes care of the neonates and infants' requirement, and which is very, very critical for the child's brain development. This is a very, very recent study which followed preterm infants from birth until later childhood, and they found that children who were fed more breast milk within the first 28 days of life had larger volumes of certain areas of the brain, that is the most critical areas of the brain. And by the age of 7 years, they had higher IQs and better scores in reading, mathematics, working memory, as well as motor functions. So, this could be the biggest motivation for a mother to feed her child. If we can tell them that your child will be more intelligent, your child will be earning more if you feed your baby today. So I think that just gives the motivation. So this study was just done on the first 1 month, first 28 days, but we know that breastfeeding can continue till 2 years of age. So it is very, very important that the mother continues her own supplements during this at least first 6 months, because, for nature, always the baby is the priority. So if the mother is not taking her own nutrients, then she would be eventually deprived, and eventually the transfer that is happening to the breast milk will also be deficient. So I think we need to work together, start reinforcing the importance of breastfeeding right away from conception. So last month we had the World Breastfeeding Week, and this was this year's agenda that we should prioritize breastfeeding and create sustainable support systems in form of galvanize, inform, anchor, and encourage and engage. Thank you. I tried to keep my session short and sweet.
Thank you, ma'am. If we can have a few words from Vidya ma'am before we go on to the next speaker, it will be nice.
Yeah, Deepika, it was an excellent talk. I think I'm audible to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So first 1,000 days we always talk, and the postpartum nutrition is very important part of advising. And many times the women, they put on weight, and for breastfeeding they eat more. And that too, again, fats and carbohydrates are more. So certain micronutrients we always talk of that they should be in the breast milk, so that that will benefit the child. So those micronutrients, which micronutrients you will advise in the postpartum period that will increase the IQ of the child? That is the most common question is asked for us.
So, ma'am, the answer is same as the third trimester. So, whatever supplements you were advising in the third trimester apply to the lactation period, that is the next 6 months. And of course, when we say that the mother needs extra calories, to be precise, it is 350 to 500 kilocalories. That doesn't mean that she only needs calories. She needs to have a high protein diet. She needs to have a balanced diet. And whatever supplements she was taking in the last third trimester, calcium, iron, she has to continue those supplements till at least 6 months and preferably maybe even longer, because we all know as women, we are always deprived with iron, vitamin D3, and then having a baby. And once the baby starts walking, it takes a toll on the physical as well as the mental health of the mother.
Yes, I do agree. And this breast milk is deficient in vitamin D. So usually the pediatrician, they ask us to take vitamin D drops for the baby.
Right, ma'am.
So
That is a
how
universal
all
indication for all the babies.
Yes. So how long these vitamin D drops you advise?
Yeah, ma'am. So for infants, the vitamin D3 drops are universally recommended till 1 year of age. But I usually advise them to be continued till the 2nd year of life. That is not a very strong recommendation, but there are some studies coming up. So definitely till 1 year of age. And after 1 year of age, depends on how well the child is doing, how fuzzy the child is in eating. And we all know that 90% or majority of the babies are fuzzy eaters.
Yeah. Thank you, Deepika, for sparing the time and sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much for that excellent talk. Thank you.
Really
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Deepika.
Hi,
Thank
sir.
you, Dr. Deepika.
Nice.
Dr.
Thank you,
Ashwin,
ma'am.
I also recognize the presence of Dr. R.S. Sharma.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
no,
I am here.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir is here to introduce the next speaker,
Dr.
I have to,
Ragini.
Dr. Ragini.
look, I have to introduce Dr. J.B. Sharma.
You can
because
introduce Dr. Ragini as well.
I do not have his her biodata.
No, it
Ma'am,
is
it's on, sir, it's on
given.
the screen, sir.
It is displayed, sir, here.
Okay, thank
Or
you.
if you want, I can introduce Dr. Agni.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. J.B. Sharma
Yes,
can
I will
sir.
introduce
Please go
Ragni,
ahead, sir.
my sister actually.
Yeah.
Bhabhi or
You
whatever.
can.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a great pleasure. Thank you. Welcome, Ragni, for coming in our program. Thank you very much. And in fact, you stimulated me to this, nutrition aspects and all. So Dr. Ragni Agrawal is a household name. She has been vice president of Foxy and hopefully future president she will be. And she has done MS, FICOG, FICMH. She is director of this hospital complete clinic for women in Cloud9 as well in Gurgaon. She has been founder and president. She has actually founded many societies. Indian Society of Aesthetic, founder and president of Indian Academy of Cosmetic Gynae, North India Gynae Forum, and then Haryana Forum also. And of course, she has been vice president and all, and national chairperson of many other committees, numerous publications and numerous, in fact, hardly any conference can happen without Ragini being its either chairperson, speaker, organizing chairperson, or this thing, and she has had numerous awards. So, how is your Dr. Agni? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind introduction. And thank you, Vidya, for this invitation. Parag, Sarita, it's a wonderful program is going on continuous daily. This ICOG course. So I will just share. इसको स्टॉप कर दें. हाँ, ठीक है. So with blessing of God and gratitude to one and all, dear friends, I'm going to start my presentation. Very good evening to all of you. And it's very nice to back on the Foxy platform again. Menopause is something which is an eternal truth for any woman. And everybody wants to age today gracefully. So how the nutrition play a big role in the aging gracefully, it is very important. Aging gracefully does not mean now only looking beautiful. It means you have a good physical health, mental health, and as well as spiritual health. The combination of three health during this period will make you age gracefully. So midlife is not merely a biological transition. It is a social and economic milestone. Yes, menopause is under prioritized in mainstream healthcare. Addressing it improves not only individual well-being but the social productivity also. Why we want to focus? Because the globally the women are increasing in number. Their age is increasing and they are going to spend more than one third of their active adult life in this age group. So this period is a health transition window. And this is a period where there's a lots of cardiometabolic risk is there, bone density, mental health, and the over and above. We all talk about the quality of life. So this empowered woman is a key to a family, workforce, and the community well-being. And it is not only HRT which is going to play a big role. We have to take a holistic approach, and their nutrition and exercise, they are the two things we top the list. And we have to follow a long-term wellness strategy from bone to brain, heart to hormones. Everything is interconnected, and challenging is to keep pace with this expanding scope. So this is not a disease, but it is a pivotal lifestyle for women during which nutrition has profound influence on health, aging, and overall quality of life. So what has changed? Basically, there's a healthcare trends which has changed. There's a diverse need, what a urban woman need and what a rural woman need, what a educated person need and what the underserved population need. But there's something which is changing, that is the increased awareness, new evidence and the guidelines are there which we have to follow for their care. And specifically, modern midlife women usually defined as a stereotypes, but today she is an educated, active, engaged woman, but she is vulnerable. Still, she is confused what she wants and what we are going to provide as a healthcare provider is very, very important. So contemporary care must address her unique life stage, not just her biology. So we have to focus on the nutrition because menopause is not just about symptom control but the long-term preventive care. Nutrition needs change with the hormonal decline in the older woman and preventing chronic diseases like CVD, osteoporosis, is the diabetes is our main goal, or enhance the quality of life and the longevity. What happened in the menopause? There's an endocrine shift leading to the decreased estrogen, which altered metabolism and the fat distribution, increasing the central obesity, visceral fat. There's a decreased progesterone leading to the sleep disturbances, appetite regulation, and androgen imbalances also lead to the visceral fat accumulation. And ultimately, there's a lots of cardiometabolic problems increases in these women. A new term is coming up in a big way. That is the sarcopenic obesity, which is a growing concern. Increased central adiposity is there, loss of the lean muscle mass, that is sarcopenia, that is weak muscles, and bone mineral density decline. First, we have used to talk about the osteoporosis, then we used to talk about the sarcopenia. But with the time, we came to know it is not the only this. We have to talk about the musculoskeletal syndrome. There's a crosstalk between the muscles and the bone, and it is interconnected by lots of the hormones and enzymes flow to each other. So nutrition is basically a preventive medicine. And here our role is very important as an early counselor because we are the basic primary physician of the woman. And it is not only us, it has to be a multidisciplinary care with a dietitian, exercise, mental health. But believe me, friend, the basic nutrition should come from you. So we are talking about continuously after once talk to other talk about the macronutrients and the micronutrients, and it also plays a big role when we talk about the menopausal women. And here, the one thing which we have to see about their protein. But one thing also, that is she able to take this much of the protein, and what type of a protein is digestible, easily chewable for that woman, and how we maintain the hydration of that patient. So her energy requirements is decreased because there is a decrease in the basal metabolic rate, around 200 kilocalorie per day. So if she continues eating like what she used to be, it will lead to the weight gain. And there's the importance of the portion control and the activity also. Protein need is 1 to 1.2 gram per kg body weight is recommended, which is needed for the support of the muscle mass and the satiety, and we have to distribute across the meals. So just saying that you take this much of the protein is not enough. We have to tell that she has to take and divide it into 4 to 5 meals, and what is better options to take. The carbohydrate should be complex carb preferred, low glycemic index for glucose control, and it is very necessary to have a fiber per day. Now fats. Coming to the fats, the healthy fats in the form of omega-3, limited saturated trans fat, but they are necessary. Don't think they don't require. Even our ghee is very good if our older women also take. And we have to, because it supports the cardiovascular and the cognitive health, we know that our brain is made of the fat. A long part of the fat has a all those vitamin A and all, they are the fat soluble vitamin. So when we talk about the fiber, there's a role in the gut microbiome, reduces CVD diabetes risk, and the improved satiety. And gut microbiome, oh my God, they are coming like anything. It's a third word inside us, which is really have a control in our action. Then hydrates, fluid needs remain high, hot flashes doesn't with there's a dehydration, and there's a herbal teas and water are preferred. But not those herbal tea without thinking what she's taking. I always say take the homemade herbal tea, take a little bit ginger, take a little bit cinnamon, and our tulsi leaves, and boil it with the and take it as wow, your herbal tea is ready. Coming to the micronutrients, there's a calcium 200 milligram per day needed for the bone health, muscle contraction, vitamin D 800 to 1000 IU per day, improved calcium absorption. Deficiency is very common in India. Then don't forget vitamin K2 and magnesium, which are required for the bone mineralization surgery, synergy, and iron requirement is decreased. Remember, she is postmenopausal, no more menstruation. So if you are giving her iron, see whether she is getting overload. If in this age, a woman becoming anemic, find out some other reason why she is becoming anemic. B6, B12, folate, they are all needed for the cognition and the mood and the homocysteine lowering. When we talk about the antioxidant like the vitamin C, E, selenium, zinc, they are protect against the oxidative stress. We all know that the oxidative stress or with the aging, these are very common in the older women, and these antioxidant has an anti-aging effect. So this micronutrient gaps in the menopausal women in the form of vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and the protein energy malnutrition is very common. Now, a word about the phytoestrogen. The moment we talk about the menopause, one start talking about the phytoestrogen. Phytoestrogen does not mean only a soya. Soya is an isoflavone and is found in the legume, primarily soybean and the foods like soya milk, soya nut butter, tofu. But remember, everybody cannot absorb it, everybody cannot get, and there's something like coming up like a what your genes are made of, what your ancestors have eaten, that is going to have a good effect on you. Since ages, our ancestor does not know what is this tofu and soya bean. So we have to think something else also, like the lignans, like flaxseed, whole wheat flour, fruits, cereal, grains, the still beans. This resveratrol is the most common silbate found in the food. There's the blueberries, raspberries, cranberries, but we have our mulberries and the peanuts also. And comescents, they are found in the broccoli and the sprouts. If we are talking about the diet, which type of the diet, a woman should take, there's a two common diet which we talk about. One is the Mediterranean diet, another is the DASH diet, which is DASH diet, which is lowering the hypertensive diet. So this Mediterranean diet is emphasize the plant-based food and the healthy fats, also the fish. Extra virgin oil is the main source of the fat, and Mediterranean diet can lower your risk of the cardiovascular disease. This is a big list which you can get from the net, what you can eat as a Mediterranean diet. You can make your own platter, what is available in your place, in your market. So DASH diet is a dietary approach to the stop hypertension designed to lower blood pressure. This eating plan focuses on the heart healthy food like whole grains, fruits and vegetables. Remember, this is to cut back the food which has lots and lots of the sodium, like the fatty and the processed food, full fat dairy, and then the oils that are solid at the room temperature, and specifically coconut oil and the palm oil. Palm oil, we all know it's a very, very dangerous thing to eat. And then the things which have a high sugar food, especially the bakery and the high sugar drink like soda juices and the sweetened coffee or tea. Then the third thing is the plant-based diets. The plant-based diets have a more than 2/3 plate is full of the plant-based thing. But it is not that you can't take the animal food, but it is better. The ratio of this plant-based diet when we talk about is a more of a pan. So you eat, this is in a good start, and emphasis should be on the plants. Then next thing I'll talk about the intermittent fasting. Although older women should be very, very take precaution starting with before this intermittent fasting, and it involves eating only during a specific period and fasting for the rest of the time. This 16/8 somehow, I don't agree with the older women. It will lead more of the complication. It's better to have a balanced diet, and if you really want intermittent fasting, the 8 to 8 is a much better to go. Don't take anything after 8. It is better, and it will give a benefit to the insulin sensitivity, weight reduction. Then coming to the gut microbiome, wow, it's something is very, very fascinating to know that our gut bacteria, the estrogen will excrete in the gut, and those gut bacteria, if they are there, they can absorb the estrogen, those bacteria called combinedly estrobolome, and they will go back again in the body. So dear friends, many a time in menopause, those patients whom you are giving a HRT or MST, you have to be little careful and understand the body also, and understand the bacteria who has a glucuronide producing bacteria. They are better bacteria, good bacteria, and they can give you some estrogen back also. So this phase of our life, which span premenopausal hormone level through the menopausal transition, significantly impact the composition and the dynamics of the microbiome. Gradual decline in the hormone level during perimenopause disrupt the balance of the microbiome, leading to a variety of anatomical condition and the health complication. And they undergo significant change impacting various body sites, including oral, intestinal, and the urogenital niches. And hormonal fluctuation play a crucial role shaping these microbial communities, with implications for disease susceptibility. Not only estrogen influence microbial community, while microbiome can metabolize and influence estrogen layer. So इस हाथ से देना और उस हाथ से लेना, इनके बीच में चलता ही रहता है. Now coming to the alcohol. Somewhere, alcohol is not very conducive with a postmenopausal woman. This dry out your skin, it causes feel bloated, sex drive, vaginal lubrication, orgasm, all are plummet. Then alcohol can cause weakness to be compared. We have to see somewhere that we have to have a moderate amount of alcohol. And if you can stop it, this is much, much better. Coming to the caffeine and the menopause, this caffeine addiction is second to alcohol, comes before cannabis. Nowadays, cannabis is being used in the menopausal women, and many say cannabis stem cell is used for the many skin cosmetics also. But caffeine consumption during menopause wasn't very typical. Menopause symptom increases stress, may trigger headaches, dizziness, and tachycardia, and interferes with the calcium absorption. And not only this, if you take lots of caffeine in the night, may lead to the sleep disturbances because of the two reasons. One is a hormonal fluctuation, and secondly, maybe you have to go loo more often, and it will disturb your sleep. Exercise and nutrition, they go in hand to hand. You cannot separate them if you want to talk about the lifestyle changes from adolescence to menopause. So they are synergistic in preserving bone, muscle, cognitive, and whatnot. And resistance training is the key along with the protein intake. So coming to the mindful eating, it is another thing which is nowadays talk about a lot because it prevents emotional eating and improves long-term weight control. So what is this? It is being fully present and engaged with your food. यानी आप पढ़ते पढ़ते मत खाएं, मोबाइल देखते देखते मत खाएं, बल्कि उसको ऐसे खाएं कि क्या कर रहे हैं आप. तो स्लो डाउन, रिकॉग्नाइज हंगर सिग्नल, create a mindful kitchen and a distraction-free eating environment. Understand your motivation, connect with your food, eliminate distraction, and overall goal is the shift from the mindless, distracted eating to a more conscious, enjoyable, and the healthy relationship with food. It's like your partner. If you have the conscious, enjoyable, and the healthy relationship, you will enjoy it. You will get a benefit. It is with your food also. So there are the 6 ways to practice mindful eating. Eating fast, full, and ignoring your body signals. Eating when emotions tell us to eat. Please don't do it. I do when I'm bored. Eating alone at random times and the places. Eating foods that are emotionally comforting. Eating and multitasking. And considering a meal and end abroad. And when you eat mindfully, you listen to your body. Eating your body tell you have to eat. Ruko, mat khao. Chalo, khao. You have to follow that. Eating with others at set times, eating food that are nutritionally healthy, and when eating, just eating and considering where food comes from. Now, 3 or 4 diseases I'm going to focus. When we talk about the osteoporosis, we have to think of the calcium, vitamin D, but think of the protein, which is really deficient in our older women's plate, even younger also. Then coming to the cardiovascular, when we talk about the cardiovascular, think of the omega-3 dash diet, lowering LDL and triglycerides. So when we talk about the diabetes and the metabolic syndrome, which is really is jumping like anything, not only the low GI diets, what is new is the anti-inflammatory diet. Even it will help in the lots of cancer also. So avoid too much of the gluten. Ho sake to don't eat your dairy products. All these soya and safflower oil is out of your kitchen. Take mustard oil and the ghee and maybe little bit olive oil. You can have a little bit peanut oil also. So go towards the food which is eliminate inflammation. When I'm making this slide, I came to the conclusion avocado one daily eat like apple, eat 1 avocado daily. Avocado is today even less priced than your apple. When we talk about the cancer prevention, phytoestrogen in the cruciferous vegetables are on the top, reduce red in the processed meat. Then when we talk about the cognition, we have to see mind diet. That is a combination of the Mediterranean and the DASH diet. Macro micronutrient should be there. Antioxidant and the brain protections. Think of the gut-brain axis, hydration and the cognitive function, nutritional deficiencies and the cognitive decline. And we have to eat mindfully to thinking we have to live very, very happily in our proper cognitive health. When we talk about the skin aging, collagen supportive diet with the vitamin C and the protein, antioxidant reduces the ankles. And what are the sources? We have to see the food first approach, supplement only. एक क्वेश्चन उठता है जी हम 4 दवाइयां खा लेते हैं तो मुझे खाना खाने की क्या जरूरत है. Nay, supplement only if deficiency proven. Nutrition supplements certainly have their place, but they can't replace food entirely. So, although supplement is very convenient, but food give you a total, along with food, you have to take the supplement to provide the deficiencies only and only. Now, when we talk about the Indian thali, usually a vegetarian diary risk of B12, protein and iron deficiency, but we can add curd, more of the dal and millets, pulses, and in the moderation, we can have our ghee also to making the diet or our thali very tasty. So counseling in the clinical practice is a key. Incorporate diet into routine OB/GYN visit. Use 24-hour recall of the food diaries, which is my common practice with my patients. I always give one counseling only and only for with my antenatal patient or the postmenopausal patient on the diet. And I only refer when I really need to make a chart to the dietitian. So future, what are the future directions? If we talk about this, nutrigenomics in menopause is coming up. There's a personalized nutrition care, teleconsults, and AI. God knows what it will do. To conclude, among the various aspects of the health promotion and the lifestyle adaptation to the postmenopausal period, nutrition habits are essential because they concern all women, can be modified, impact both longevity and the quality of life. Current evidence suggests that low-fat plant-based diets are associated with beneficial effects on body composition, but further studies are needed when we are talking about the so-called all these soya and this and that. The Mediterranean diet pattern, along with other healthy habits, may help the primary prevention of the bone, metabolic, and the cardiovascular disease. It consists on the use of the healthy foods that have an anti-inflammatory and the antioxidant properties, and effect remain to be evaluated over a longer period of time. Because we have just started talking about the nutrients. Maybe down the line, 20 and 30 years, we can come with a conclusion, yes, we have done very good for our generation to come to change in the nutrition. So in nutshell, menopause is an opportunity for the preventive nutrition, balanced macronutrients, targeted micronutrients, cultural adapted diet plans work best, and nutrition is the cornerstone of the graceful aging. So, should not neglect the purpose. Education, empathy, and the ecosystem level reform, all critical care. The new horizon is here. Let's rise to it. A woman's health is her capital. Let us invest wisely, though every phase, every transition, and every generation. Together, we can transform the midlife experience for every woman. Stop seeing menopause care as a symptom suppression. Instead, let's see it as a gateway to stronger bones, a clearer mind, a healthier heart, and empowered aging. We are entering a golden age of the menopause medicine. With science, empathy, and innovation, we can transform midlife into the health springboard. Thank you so much for walk this journey now to fight with the way of the others. And nutrition is in your hand as the biggest weapon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we have a few comments from JB Sharma, sir, regarding this?
Unmute कर दो सर.
Unmute
कर दो, unmute.
अरे Madam Chawla.
Madam
She is
Chawla
the
is also there.
of the menopause icon of our country. Nutrition and exercise.
Madam, unmute कीजिए, you can speak.
JB Sharma sir, unmute करो.
Chawla ma'am, you're muted. Yeah.
Excellent, Dr. Ragini. I just attended it's an excellent, lecture meant for one and all. Congratulations. I think nutrition really is the real baseline for our good health. Nutrition and the exercise. Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chawla, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
JB
Yeah,
sir,
thank you, Dr.
after
Agni, for the
comments.
wonderful talk. I have heard it before also. Madam is really passionate about nutrition, this electrobiome, microbiome, and menopause. It's her area of interest, and she really talks with passion, with scientific evidence and all. And I think if we follow her advice, our all menopausal patients will have a very healthy and great life, and with dignity and all. So I thank Dr. Agni for a wonderful talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Ragini is also past chairperson of Food, Drugs and Medical Surgical Equipment Committee. And moreover, she is now Indian Menopause Society Secretary. So I have heard her many talks, and really she is an inspirational leader in that subject.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And Dr. Sheila Mane has again come in picture, and she also wants to comment on Ragini's talk. Yeah. 2 words on menopause and nutrition, Sheila.
Sheila, be muted. Unmute karo, Sheila.
Unmute.
The host had. Oh, Ragini, excellent. I think Ragini is the example also. All of us have to know that also. So I know it is very important. So excellent, Ragini. I mean, you have included all the newer thoughts and everything. And really, I think the today's program, Dr. Vidya has given so much of insights from, I think, prenatal to intranatal to neonatal to adolescent and everything, I think. So it was excellent. I mean, really enjoyed it. Okay. In between, I was getting calls from the hospital, so I had to go out, but I kept a track and good talk, Ragini. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Can I ask one question to Dr. Ragini?
Yes, Dr. Sharma.
Sorry for
I'm
the.
so happy you are ready to talk to me.
Thank you. It was a really wonderful talk, Dr. Agni. My question was basically that menopause is, in addition to the lifestyle and nutrition, what do you think that this is also an intergenerational issue, particularly the nutrition of the pregnant woman when the girl in the womb at that time, what nutrition decide, that also play an important role.
Yes,
So I think,
very true. It's a generational changes happen
yeah.
when a woman does not take a proper diet. It will not going to affect her newborn. It is going to act as a gene expression in the next generation also. That's why we are started talking about the endocrine disruptors leading to the epigenetic changes in the developing fetus in the womb. And it is very important for us to understand these environmental endocrine disruptors not only affect that developing baby, and it is as a genoestrogen, it is accumulating in the body. So those genoestrogen is also causing a changes in that woman, and changes, the menopausal changes, cancers, they are all coming. So I think we have to talk more and more about these generational
transition,
genetic
that is
changes.
very important. Thank you. So if the organizer permit me, should I introduce Professor J.B. Sharma?
Yeah, definitely.
So before that, I must thank Dr. Vidya Thobi, Dr. J.B. Sharma, and Dr. Asha Jain for giving me the opportunity to introduce Dr. J.B. Sharma as the chairman of this session. Thank you, Dr. Vidya.
We are honored by your presence.
It is really I am very pleased to introduce Professor J.B. Sharma, who is a very renowned obstetrician and gynecologist. He is currently working at the Yasoda Medicity. But before that, I think he has worked at one of the very eminent or prominent institution of the country, that is All India Institute of Medical Sciences at Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and as a unit head also. And he has also worked in various institutions or hospitals in United Kingdom. Professor Sharma, his specialization is concerned, he's an expert in infertility, laparoscopic surgery, genital tuberculosis, and anemia in pregnancy. During his research work, because I've been associated with his work, So I know that he used to submit the grants, and he rather obtained number of grants from various funding agencies of the country, starting from Indian Council of Medical Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, even the Department of Science and Technology, and internationally, I think from the Oxford University also he got the, because I was aware of these facts. That's why I know about this man. And his work was very exciting, because I think he has published more than 420 papers, and he has been he has written a number of books where I am also one of the author along with him. And based on that, he has been ranked as that top 2% leader in the world as per the Stanford University. And he has obtained number of awards like B.C. Roy award by President of India, Laptesker award by ISSRF, and I think Royal College of Obstetrician and Gynecologist from UK, and Foxy Awards also. So I think it's very my privilege and honor to invite Professor J.B. Sharma to give this very important talk on this very important subjects of master class of on nutrition and women health, which is of national significance. Dr. Sharma, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. R.S. Sharma, sir. It has been wonderful. Dr. R.S. Sharma is my elder brother. So that's why sir is praising so much. He has been really helpful in giving us so many projects from ICMR. We could say with right now, sir, first we need this project to do work, and sir would always help us. Thank you very much, sir. And we retired almost simultaneously,
Yeah.
So sir was in head of ICMR, I mean, many years. Thank you very much, sir. We did a wonderful job. So yeah, so without wasting time, I think we are getting late, and I'm thankful to each and everyone here, especially Dr. Vidya Thomi for the wonderful presentation. So my topic will be national policies and interventions. So yes, Deepika, please can you, yeah. So we know that, Poshan Abhiyan was started by Government of India in 2018 as an Indian flagship program for improving nutritional outcomes. Because whatever we have heard for last 2-3 hours, ultimately, unless we have policies from the government, Dr. R.S. Sharma has been involved in many policies of the government. Without that, the work cannot run. So we need to focus on reducing stunting, undernutrition, anemia, and low birth weight. And key intervention remain Jan Andolan campaign, real-time monitoring via ICT, capacity building of frontline workers, target women of reproductive age, children, and adolescents. Next please, yeah. So Anemia Mukt Bharat program was started with full fanfare by Government of India, Honorable Prime Minister, in 2018 under Poshan Abhiyan. And goal was to reduce anemia by 3% per year across age groups. And it had 6 into 6 into 6 strategies. That means 6 target beneficiaries, 6 interventions, and 6 institutional mechanisms. I won't go into detail of that. All of us know about Anemia Mukt Bharat. But these main 6 target beneficiaries include children, adolescent girls, and then reproductive age group women and pregnant women mainly. And of course, intervention include iron, folic acid, and deworming, etc. So focus is on iron and folic acid tablet along with the iron and folic acid supplementation, deworming, and nutritional education also is important, so that they eat right place. And Dr. Agni showed the various nutrients, Dr. Deepika showed, so all of them are needed. Next please, yeah. So the midday meal program scheme is another scheme of the government. I mean, basically, giving speech to people will not be sufficient, to women and children. We tell children, you eat this and that, but they don't have. They say, give us food. So the government schemes are the only one, like midday school meal and where the patient, similarly, Anganwadi scheme, where the children are given free food by Government of India through the various schemes. Otherwise, the children want to eat, but they don't have food. So that's why these schemes are very, very important. So it's the largest food feeding program in the world. It provides cooked meals to school children to improve nutritional intake. It contributes to reducing micronutrient deficiencies and promoting school attendance. It supports nutrition-sensitive approaches to address anemia and hidden hunger. The hidden hunger concept is coming up in a big way. It has been talked in this today also. So that means all of us give a lot of importance to macronutrients, carb, protein, fats, and iron, folic acid. But what's about the micronutrients, which we are hearing, and that is what I'm happy that TrimaCare is leading the way in that case. So we need to target this hidden hunger. In fact, I've seen patients who are obese, sir. Like, this thing, and husband thinks the patient is very obese, so she must be, having excess of everything. But then patient was having anemia 8.5 gram, and she was, lethargic and all. And husband was joking and taunting her. I said, no, obese patient can also have anemia. So the two things are different. So she was having hidden hunger. So that is very, very important, because, and then so other key projects include Yeah, Integrated Child Development Services Scheme. All of us know that it is a supplementary nutrition for women and children both, so pregnant women also. Under this scheme, the ICDS scheme, the Oranganwadi scheme also we call it. So they are given free food. I mean, certain amount of calories, certain amount of proteins, more stress on protein to the children as well as the pregnant woman and nutritional woman. In National Health Mission, maternal child health focus with nutrition integration in that, and then Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. It gives cash incentives for maternal nutrition and antenatal care. And fortification projects are like staples like rice, wheat, and edible oils are fortified with iron, folic acid, vitamins. All of us are aware of the iodized salt, which is a great success. So same way, I mean, folic, like in UK, I remember the wheat flour was available with folic acid, and folic acid is very safe for men also. So same way, we know that like dalda ghee and all, they are contain vitamin A and D. So same way, if iron can also be fortified, certain foods can be fortified with that. So that will be a great initiative. Next, please. Yeah. Okay. So we know that the stronger policy will make ultimately healthier mothers and healthier babies, as Dr. Deepika Rastogi also said in her talk, 1000 days. Wala. Next one. So what are the various other policies will be advancing protocols from iron folic acid to multi-micronutrients? We have been just stressing on macronutrients and then just iron and folic acid, but there have been studies from some hospital like B12 is also important, iodine is also important, selenium, nickel, molybdenum, some certain other these things are also important, apart from zinc. So that is our stress that apart from iron folic acid, we need to target these multi-micronutrients also. Yeah, next please. So basically, why this matters now is that according to the Anemia Mukt Bharat came in a big way, and almost 800 crore rupees were spent by government of India. And have a guess, from NFHS 4, the prevalence of anemia in India was 50%. And after spending 800 crores on Anemia Mukt Bharat, the prevalence, according to NFHS 5, increased to 52%. At least even if you consider that, 1.5% increase, not an increase, but there is no decrease. If you are spending 800 crore, there is no decrease in, rather there is slight increase. So that means somewhere we are failing in the system. And then low birth weight prevalence remains 18%, hidden hunger in urban and rural women. Epigenetic impact is very, very crucial. And as we were talking, Dr. R.S. Sharma was talking about intergenerational NCD risk is also important. So for this is the prevalence of anemia according to NFHS 5 survey. Pregnant women anemic are 52%. It increased from 50% in NFHS 4. And then between 15 to 49 years, underweight 18.7%, low birth weight 18%, and IFA tablets consumption for more than 100 days during pregnancy was only 30%. So in spite of being, and ICMR did a study that in spite of anemia control program has been, Dr. R.S. Sharma, since 1955 or so, and ICMR did a study and they found that there was no difference in prevalence of anemia in patients who were consuming iron tablets and versus who were not. And then they realized that the quality of iron tablets was very poor, and almost 40-50% patients were not consuming iron. I remember working, in my MBBS days, and we used to free distribute the tablet in the evening when we went for walk. The tablets were lying on sand. The woman will just throw them. They will not take it. So even if you give free tablets to the people, sometimes they will not take it. So somewhere something is wrong. Some counseling has to be done, or we need to make better quality iron tablets, or somewhere we have to do that. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this is, though higher adverse pregnancy outcome are there, like in this, you can say in India, in blue, and other country, developed country will be in red. So you can say all micronutrient deficiencies are a leading cause of approximately 60% of adverse pregnancy outcome in India. So in India, actually, we'll have high preterm delivery, high low birth weight, IUGR, preeclampsia, GDM. So all these are related to basically, poor nutrition. And somewhere, but GDM may not be related to poor nutrition, it is related to high carbohydrate intake. So sadly, India is now is a capital of diabetes, including GDM. Very, very high prevalence. So we need to, probably we are consuming more of carbs and more of sugars, but lesser of micronutrients and other important nutrients. Next, please. So the current diet of pregnant women, dietary gaps are causing hidden hunger. So we can say the main diet is cereal dominated diet, insufficient nutrient intake, cultural food restrictions, eat this, don't eat this, don't eat that, like that from the mother-in-law or sister-in-law. Cooking method, boiling and frying also destroy nutrients, and lack in dietary diversity and urban versus rural area. We did a study, my son did a study in some hospitals. So this is this MDDW, Dr. R.S. Sharma, that is, minimum dietary diversity score by F&A of United Nations Food and Administration, in the head office is in Rome. So there are 10 groups in that, and one group is cereals everyone takes. Then the second is these pulses, third is legumes, and 4th is milk and milk product, 5th is egg, 6th is meat, and 7, 8, 9, 10 are 2 vegetable, yellow vegetable containing vitamin A rich and other vegetables, and then 2 are for fruits. So if the diet diversity score, we did the study in anemic patient, the dietary diversity score was only 4, while non-anemic patient it was 6.2. And when we studied in severe anemia patient, the dietary diversity score was only 2.2. So, I mean, lesser the dietary score, more is the anemia. Because everyone eats bread, everyone eats some pulses. So 2 or 2.5 or 3, some amount of milk is also there, but milk is poor in iron. So that's why so we found that higher the diet diversity score, lesser is the prevalence of anemia. So we need to encourage that. And another study we did that we found that millet consumption, but only 9% patients were consuming millets in our study, sir, because it was an observational study. And in them, the prevalence of anemia was 10% lesser than the patients non-consuming millets. It was like 40% in millet-consuming people, and it was almost 49 to 50% in patients not consuming millet. So we can encourage like bajra, sorghum, other types of millets to our patient, and our government gave a lot of stress. And 2018 was declared an International Millet Year by United Nations on the request of Indian government. So, and they can be grown in arid areas and Indian circumstances, less water is required, and they are rich in iron and other important nutrients, as Dr. Agni was saying. So we should encourage millets. We should encourage MDDW. Next slide, please. Okay. So in 1970, we know that IFA was introduced by a National Anemia Control Program, and IFA remains backbone in anemia Bharat adherence, but adherence was only 26%. In spite of we being giving them free tablets, only 26% women were taking, and IFA side effects contribute to poor compliance. So I was talking to a woman that you were given free iron tablets, so you didn't take them, because she said after taking iron tablets, I couldn't even consume food. She was having epigastric pain, bloating, and all, and she couldn't consume food. So even her calorie intake became poorer, and so she stopped the iron tablets. So we need to find that is the problem. That. Next slide, please. Yeah. So correct iron and folic acid only is not the solution. Hidden hunger, that means multiple deficiencies are there. High side effects with that iron tablets. So we need to find out better. Bloating, constipation, no effect on low birth weight trends also. We should restrict only to iron and folate. Yeah. Next, please. So basically, this thin fat phenotype, hidden hunger in Indian mothers is there. The thin fat phenotype, normal BMI, multiple deficiencies. Common deficits are vitamin B12, D, zinc, iodine, and magnesium, and an antioxidant gap, as Ragini was saying in the lecture, oxidative stress, preeclampsia. So all these are more common in them. So that's why hidden hunger or micronutrient deficiency can cause a lot of adverse outcomes in maternal as well as fetal outcomes. And we can say, yeah, evidence for MMS, that is multi deficiencies global. Cochrane pooled analysis showed 12% decrease in low birth weight if we give them multinutrients, decrease in preterm birth, decrease in SGA birth, and no safety concerns because they are very safe. So this is how the multi-micronutrient supplement is given to the patient. They can reduce, they can have better outcome. Next slide, please. So WHO and UNIM also gave the guidance that 15 nutrients are global reference formula. WHO recommended in research and country policies and now included in WHO essential medicine list. So apart from iron, folic acid, we need to target these 15 nutrients. Next, please. And what are these? We can say that is like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, E, B1, B2, B3, B6, folic acid, B12, iron, iodine, zinc, selenium, copper. So these are the various nutrients which need to be given to the patient, not just iron, folic acid only. Yeah, next week. So we need to stress upon them. And it's just not possible to get all of them in the normal diet. So we need to give some supplements for that. And most supplement, iron tablet and folic acid tablet, contain only these or at the most zinc or something else. So that's why 3 to 4, not like all of these. Next, please. So, yeah, so our perceived cost, but cost effective long term. We normally think that this will, because all these will increase the cost of the tablet, but then the gaps will be there, and supply chain and regulatory hurdles, limited provider awareness, and pill burden and adherence issues. If you give 10 tablets, patient will not be able to consume. So can we make in one tablet only, like various, that will be the help in better adherence. Only thing, cost will be slightly more, so we can work on that. And those scale up MMC in antenatal protocol, start pre-conception, continue postpartum. This is very important. Peri-conception care is important, and we need to give them. Even I was shocked to know that our own gynae residents, sir, they conceived and without taking peri-conception folic acid. Gynae residents, I said, why? Because most pregnancies sometimes happen unplanned and all, So this is very shocking that we need to give it to all patients, and public-private partnership for affordability, audit and publish Indian outcome are important. So that is the obstetrician as national nutritional advocate plays an important role. Next slide, please. So this is how our target, I mean, if the hemoglobin, like, this is more than 11 gram green light, that means MMS only we need to give. But if the hemoglobin is between 8 to 10.9, then MMS with oral iron. And if so multi-micronutrients has to be given to all patients. And iron, of course, in India, we need to give iron also because most patients have low iron stores. But between 8 to 10.9, definitely oral iron and MS. And if the hemoglobin goes less than 8 or severe anemia, then apart from MS, we need to give IV iron to these patients, especially if we are nearing the term. And separate calcium from iron supplement, because iron and calcium cannot be given together. They interfere with each absorption. So separate have to be given tablet. In fact, it may make sense to give a 6 to 8 hours gap. Like if iron take 10 o'clock, then give calcium at 5 o'clock or vice versa. Next please. Yeah. So what is the equity and impact of this? The greatest benefit will be in the adolescent and low birth weight mothers, urban vegetarians, post-bariatric mothers, MMS break intergenerational malnutrition. Intergenerational malnutrition basically like the grandfather was malnourished, then the father was malnourished, then the child is malnourished, and what we can say, a beggar will have a beggar baby only, like that. So next slide, please. So ultimately, so what are the key takeaways? IFA necessary but insufficient. MMS improves low birth weight, SGA preterm outcome. India specific MMS is ready for adoption. Clinician must lead, policy will follow. So we need to give nutritional counseling, screening, and MMS listing. And so we need to highlight this importance that apart from IFA, we need to go slightly higher. I'm just finishing. Yeah. Next slide, please. So to conclude, 50 years ago, IFA was revolutionary, but today MMS must be our new default for maternal and child health. I mean, IFA remains the reason, but along with that, we need to give this also to these patients. So that is the important thing. So to conclude, basically, we need to call for action for clinicians and policymakers that apart from IFA, give MMS all to our all pregnant women to break the cycle of hidden hunger and give every child a stronger start in life. And as Deepika was showing that if you give better nutrition to the children, they will become, their IQ will become better. And yeah, thank you. So both mother and perinatal outcome will become better. And as according to Barker's hypothesis also, sir, if there is malnutrition during pregnancy, IUGR in pregnancy, so these children, when they grow up, they are at high risk of developing ischemic heart disease, diabetes, and other metabolic syndrome, according to Barker's hypothesis. So that way also, during pregnancy and first 1,000 days, as Deepika said in her lecture, so we need to give a lot of care to them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sharma, for giving a very good, very excellent, outstanding lecture on a very important topic. I think you have covered everything. Look, the government of India basically was very particular for the nutrition of the people who are concerned. It started from 1990 when the under nutrition program was initiated for the infants and the women, and then the national nutrition policy was started. Then there were comprehensive nutrition and so on, and then currently you have whatever the new programs are there, you have already highlighted. So this is very good and very detailed presentation on very important topic. Thank you very much. If any questions are there from the audience, they are welcome. I think Professor Sharma will be able to answer it.
Thank you, sir. Can we have a few comments from our current chairperson of the FOXI Food, Drug and Medical Equipment Committee, Dr. Asha Rao, ma'am?
Asha Jain.
Asha Jain, sorry, Asha Jain. Sorry.
Ashwin is tired. Thank you, Ashwin. And thank you, Vidya ma'am. This, me being the chairperson of this committee, food, but today you have taken it to a different height altogether. Before getting pregnant, till we are ready to end our lives. The whole spectrum has been covered exactly like your book. I hope it's going to be a great read. And we have had so many eminent speakers showing off different. You can't hear me?
Now we can
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah.
You're audible, Asha. Yes.
Okay. So, you have covered everything from genome to think nutrition to, before birth, right up to the end of our lives. So I think even I have learned so much today, and gives me a new perspective of how I can take nutrition forward in my tenure that remains under your able guidance. So, I don't want to take too much time. We are already 45 minutes late. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And thank you, Vidya ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Ashwin and Sonia. Namaskar.
Thank you very much.
Vidya, can I speak one thing?
Yes.
So, I just want to say, हमारे अपने देश में एक ही चीज कहते थे, जो खाओगे वो बनोगे. Ultimately घूम फिर करके वहीं आ गए.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
हाँ, जो माँ खाएगी वैसा बच्चा पैदा होगा, नहीं?
Sattvic
All
food
illness resides in the stomach.
Yeah.
We have deviated from our traditional meals.
Yes, yes, yes.
The biggest problem lies there. No?
It is true.
And all this junk food is killing
Madam,
those
some of my
trillions.
pregnant patients are asking that, sir, can we eat pizza? Can we eat burger? They are
No, they are
for that.
killing our 43 trillions microbiota.
Yeah.
And one more thing I feel, now there is increase in the incidence of cesarean. See that vaginal, flora, and that vaginal delivery maintains the microbiota of the child which is born vaginal. And maybe the more number of cesarean births now can alter the microbiota and leading more to this PCOS and obesity and all these problems.
IMR और
because of
MMR
the
नहीं कम होता.
inflammation.
वेजाइनल बर्थ कराते रहते तो ये टू फिगर की MMR नहीं देख सकते थे. MMR को तो एक ही चीज ने बदला है, प्रॉपर एंटीनेटल केयर एंड टाइमली सिजेरियन.
नहीं, मैं MMR की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. मैं obesity, inflammation of the intestine, in spite of
तभी तो बायोटा आएगा.
eating nutritional deficiencies, उसकी बात कर रही हूँ. उसकी बात कर रही हूँ, not the maternal one.
जब जिंदा रहेंगे तभी तो करेंगे, मैं ये कह रही हूँ.
Thank you very much, all the delegates, all the speakers, Dr. J.B. Sharma sir. And it was really, I gave this important topic to Dr. J.B. Sharma, and he presented so excellently. So many
But it was a very huge
policies, so
topic, so
many
I made it short.
interventions.
No, I made
No,
it
that
very short. So
Poshan
that was
Abhiyan,
nice.
so many things are done, no? So in spite of that, the nutritional deficiencies are there.
I
So-
think Doctor, somebody mentioned about 17 September government is going to.
Yeah, Dr. Durga Dash.
It's a 2
Durga
weeks
Shankar
program.
Dash.
I will tell you
Durga
because
Shankar
I was
Dash.
in the meeting with the health minister and secretary, health secretary. It's a 2-week program. 17 September is the birthday of Modi ji. So they are coming with this program, Swasth Nari, Sashakt Parivar.
Swastha Nari, some title is there, no? Swastha Nari.
So what are the initiatives under that,
So
Ragini?
they want, you think what you want to do, camps karna hai, kya karna hai, they are not very clear. Every association might be come with their own programs. There are lots of association, even non-medical associations and NGOs. They are there.
There is a meeting in the college also. Swastha
we had
Nari
last
Sashakta Parivar,
Sashakta
something.
Parivar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after
You can
12th, they are asking us
unmute and talk, Dr. Durga Shankar Dash. Sir, unmute कीजिए और बात कीजिए.
You will have to make him co-host.
No. Anybody can do now. It is
No,
open.
it didn't happen for me on my own.
Okay.
Ma'am, they can.
You can unmute.
Sorry, he is telling sorry.
We can have
Anyway,
1 minute video of this thing, and then we can have vote of thanks.
Yes. Then vote of thanks. Please do it.
So Deepika can,
India accounts for the world's largest number of pregnancies, but also carries a disproportionate burden of preterm birth, low birth weight, maternal anemia, and gestational diabetes. Despite decades of iron folic acid supplementation, over half of pregnant women remain micronutrient deficient, India now faces a paradox of malnutrition, undernutrition on one side, and obesity with metabolic risk on the other, compounded by the thin fat phenotype, where hidden micronutrient gaps persist despite normal body weight. Beneath apparent food security persists the silent, hidden hunger of vitamin B12, vitamin D, zinc, and iodine. For over 50 years, iron folic acid has been the foundation of antenatal supplementation. But IFA alone cannot resolve multi-micronutrient deficiencies that shape maternal and fetal health. The impact of micronutrients depends on their synergy and bioavailability, while also addressing trimester-specific requirements. Failure to consider these dynamics compromises outcomes and perpetuates intergenerational risk. Where IFA was revolutionary 50 years ago, multiple micronutrient supplementation, MMS, represents the scientific advancement required today. Trimacare Pregnancy Supplement, a patented India-specific formulation aligned with maternal physiology and global evidence, formulated with 20+ essential micronutrients, including IFA, carefully designed for each trimester of pregnancy. A one-stop solution to enhance compliance, reduces risk of overdosing, underdosing, and gastrointestinal side effects. Trimacare is more than a supplement. It is nutrition science designed for clinical realities in India. Trimacare marks the beginning of a new era in antenatal care. Your partner in thinking beyond disease correction to preventing deficiencies and improving birth outcomes. Trimacare, transforming the next generation.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So Dr. Vidya, with your permission, can we now have the vote of thanks?
Yeah. Please,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone here. I mean, for this. So.
Sir, you're not audible.
I say Dr. Sunita, our president, Dr. Shokumar, Dr. Swarna Kadilkar, and Dr. Sarita Bhalerao. And then, of course, conveners today, Dr. Vidya Tobi did the main work. I just enjoyed the fruits of it. I mean, madam has done a lot of hard work. And co-convener today, Dr. Asha Jain, and coordinator, Dr. Sonia and Dr. Ashwin did a wonderful job. And I also put it on thanks that a lot of hard work has gone into it. And then in the first session, the chairperson was Dr. Asha Rao, Dr. Charmila, and Dr. Achala Batra. I'm thankful to them. And the speakers were Dr. Sanjay Gupta gave brilliant talk on nutrigenomics. Dr. Hema Divakar gave a lot of wonderful talk on call to ops, think nutrition first. Dr. Chitra Pandit gave on adolescent nutrition for prevention of NCD. And there are a lot of question answer on that. And then the second session was chaired by Dr. Ramani Devi, Dr. Bharti Rajsekhar, and Dr. Asha Jain. I'm thankful to them. The speaker were Dr. Shilpa Joshi on obesity, PCOS, nutritional intervention. And then Dr. Sarita Bhalerao on preconception nutrition. Dr. Vidya Tobi herself spoke on trimester-specific nutrition way forward. It was a brilliant talk, and that showed that we need to change the nutrition as per the trimester, I mean, separate from first, second, and third trimester. The session 3 was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Pradeshi, Dr. Shalja Vidri, and Dr. R.S. Sharma, sir. And the first lecture was by Dr. Deepika Rastogi on first 1,000 days. This is a new concept, and even it came to me also as a new, and we were just thinking only 6 months after delivery, but it is total 1,000 days, which include antenatal period and later on also. And then Dr. Agni Agrawal gave a brilliant lecture on menopause and nutrition, aging gracefully. It was very, very informative. And then I, of course, spoke about policies and interventions. So I think in this lecture, we try to cover almost everything related to maternal nutrition and neonatal nutrition and which affects that. And I'm also thankful, special thanks to Trimacare Sciences, Health Sciences, and especially Madam Surbhi Gupta and Dr. Deepika. They did a wonderful job. They were, ringing us continuously, sending us chapters, receiving the chapter, asking for comments. And so I really, thank them. And I also thank them for making this Trimacare 1, 2, 3 advanced and all, which is very specific and for coming out with such a good nutritional supplement in pregnancy and at different trimester. My only request will be that some patients cannot afford it, slightly more expensive.
Yes,
So I have a sincere request to them that if once their prescription go more, they should reduce the cost. I mean, for our poor patient, I feel, madam, no patient should be deprived of a good product just because he's poor. And then the government of India or the others should also take a lead, and I think the company should try to make it affordable as far as possible. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a
you,
real
one and
pleasure
all.
working with Dr. Vidya Thobi, madam.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. It was pleasure also as a
And on behalf of ICOG,
yes,
on behalf of ICOG, I would like to thank Dr. Vidya, Dr. J.B. Sharma, and Dr. Parag and Sarita, okay, for an excellent program. And Dr. J.B. Sharma ji, I am looking forward for more research work in my tenure on nutrition with Dr. Vidya. आप सोचना शुरू कर दीजिए.
We will be
I'll be part of it, man. I'll be part.
Yeah.
And
So
Dr.
anyway,
you
Vidya,
please
we can
guide
invite
me.
them
You
for-
please guide me.
Dr.
So
Vidya, we can invite them for this our AOGD conference also lecture.
Yeah.
बताइए.
And book launch. You want to say that?
No, that book launch will be there in Delhi also.
Pardon?
But, Sheila was talking about the research. We will discuss about the research. Anyway, R.S. Sharma sir is also there. So more research we can take up and we can talk about it. Yes.
Yeah, we have to, Vidya, it's your VP year, so just think about it. And we are getting an ethical committee also, so we should start doing something.
Yeah.
डॉक्टर
In
जेबी
my
शर्मा
VP
जी, आप
tenure,
थोड़ा
definitely.
अभी
Yes.
से सोच लीजिए और बता दीजिए मुझे. दोनों भाइयों को बोल रही हूँ कि हमारे
Definitely, sure.
Sharma and Sharma.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
Thank
we
you very
invite
much,
everyone
one and all.
whosoever can come to this AOGD conference, and there is our special session book launch and a lecture, brilliant lecture by Dr. Vidya Thobi about this trimester specific this thing on Saturday from I think it's from 2 to 3. So I invite all of you.
Yeah, it is between 2 to 3 in AOGD, Delhi. Yes.
Okay, please share. Yeah.
Yeah, I will share.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila, for being with us till end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
wonderful work by Dr. Sonia, Dr. Ashwin, and thank you, Asha, for being there, and all the delegates who were there till last. They will definitely get the certificates. Thank you, Deepika. Thank you, Surabhi, and all Tramacare plus Life Science. Thank you very much. Yes. Nilima, can we end this one?